Loshak at? The bottle's getting empty up the Kraken. We stacking chips, all of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated pub sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced. Leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call a truce. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon. We be pubbing.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pub Sports Radio. He's Jimmy's back. My name is Peter Loshak. Today is Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. Strange times in the world and in the sports betting world. And no, I'm not talking about UConn covering every game by 15 in a row. That's not strange at all. I'm talking about other things. The sports betting world is always changing, Jimmy the Bag. It's always changing. Sometimes imperceptibly, sometimes quite perceptibly. We never know what the future holds. Very, very strange thing, this thing, existence that we were born into, not of our own choosing, unless perhaps we were, and we just aren't aware of it as we are here, which very could easily be the case. I'm still thinking about these things, Jimmy the Bag. But we got a huge card today, a ton of games, everything. Baseball, MLB. Baseball and MLB, the same thing. Sorry, that's how fucked up I am. Baseball, NHL, NBA. Even NHL and NBA are a little bit weird right now because, there were only like a couple of games had totals on the overnight lines for NBA. NHL getting really weird with the playoffs coming up. So, but we're going to do it. We're going to have fun. We push on no matter what, right, Jimmy the Bag?
We push on. This is one of the days where the push is a little more difficult. 38 games on the docket. We had a very late NCAA championship final bet stream last night, and it was extremely enjoyable. Every time I get the cap with our group, it's extremely enjoyable. Let's first start off before we give a what up to everybody. We have to keep a very brisk pace. Because this is about as big a schedule as we'll ever have, ever. And this is the toughest 2 weeks of the year. We're now in the second week of it. For me, the 2 weeks when NHL and NBA are still in the regular season and MLB starts is the two toughest weeks of the year for me. And then we added on the Florida Derby show on Saturday. So there's been a lot of work going in. Let's start by giving a shout out to the winner. So this is our second contest on our website. The first winner in our football contest was none other than Pistol Pete Loshak, who's looking dapper right there. The first winner of our NCAA contest, Matty Ice. Doesn't that make sense? Does it make sense that you guys win the first two contests? Beautiful.
And he had UConn in the final, right? Or winning it all, or what was it?
He had UConn winning the whole thing.
I mean, there you go.
Very impressive. Endable, maybe it's Endabo. I don't know. I'm not sure. In second place, and then Birdie wins by a point over Preston and Dre Machi, and that just, the hard luck life of our Preston Ekdahl. The story continues. One spot out of the cash, fodder for his story and our laughter. Preston in fourth. Bobano right there in fifth. It was impressive work. Loshak, you were in sixth. Matt Janning, who starred in the NCAA tournament not too long ago, a spectacular basketball player who now plies his trade in Asia. He was seventh. Very exciting. It was very exciting. So congratulations. Everybody will be paid out here shortly. We'll figure everything out, and everybody's going to get their cash. So congratulations to all of you guys. Then I came here on the week of on Tuesday, March 7th, and I was extremely frustrated. I'd had a bad January and February to start the year after a great 2022, and I said I was going to turn things around week by week. And that week I was up 10.11 units. The March 14th to 17th up 5.1 units. March 21st to 24th, 1916 plus 2.6 units. And it came to a crashing halt this past week. 19 and 22 down 4.7 units. So my weekly winning streak has come to a halt, but it was an excellent month of March, a winning month. And the key is just to stack winning months. And it will help if I stack winning weeks, but I need to stack winning months. And March was a nice winning month. which is good. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Dan Kelly says heading up to the Syracuse Mets home opener. Just going to check out Brett Beatty starting at third, tearing up AAA. Should be taking over in the big soon. And 21-year-old catcher Francisco Alvarez. What a guy Dan Kelly is. I love him. I love hanging out. He's a great friend. Nuke Worker in the house. Nuke Worker says, once upon a time, they were the Syracuse Blue Jays. Once upon a time. Nuke Worker says, what a dominant performance by UConn throughout the whole tourney. Of course, you took San Diego State with points last night. I had a nice casher that I had some friends go pretty big on with the San Diego State first half team total under.
Wow, very nice.
Made me feel very good. Jay Smooth in the house. JW ready to get to work. Mr. Vape had a huge tournament. Great job, Ryan Mueller. And there is our champion of our bracket contest, Matty Ice, in the house. J Dub ready to get to work. Had the pleasure of hanging out with J Dub in San Antonio. Hunter Engelhart, spectacular MLB capper. You will see him capping here live with us on the show as we move forward. We're just setting up our schedule. Tuesdays, though, I think will be just Pistol Pete and myself, but we're in discussions about all that. Rick J, Bo Jackson, B Lab 6'9", DC Capper, Kyle Hintlian. Kyle Hintlian says you look like a 1973 Expos pitcher.
Yeah, man, those were the coolest pitchers ever. The innings eaters in the 70s in baseball. You know, those guys who would throw like 300 innings, 210 strikeouts, maybe 105 walks or whatever it is. Huge stash. And then after the game, after all that work, they'd go out and hang out in singles bars in Montreal. And what a life that must have been, being an innings eater, studs pitcher in Major League Baseball in the 70s, man. Buy some nice threads.
JPZ, Mally Mal, Vom Polo, Justin McElvey, Rick J, Kyle Hintlian, Juan Ruiz, a DC Capper, Trot Wam. Trot Wam will be our guest for NBA. We got to get into everything right now. Yeah. Tom Miggins, Justin McElvey, Slatsy in the house, Chase White. Slatsy says, heard through the grapevine last night that Primo would be starting for the Habs. Got the Wings -110 up to -120, and Husso and Primo are confirmed. Julian Cesario in the house, Big Mastro, AOD. What a great group. Clint Starr, the diehard MMA podcast. Nate Dogg, Browns Hughes. Sky Dragon says it's officially Kikuchi season. There's Nut Flush Allen, Rocco Rogers, Kadesh, Dean, our guy KD, Andrew G, Serious Business, Saturated, our great friend Brandon Cummings. Yeah, Brandon Cummings. What a great guy he is. Real Deal Prime. Thank you guys all for rolling with us. Pete, 38 games on deck. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay. What are we starting with? NHL?
We are starting with NHL. Let's get right to work, Pete. Senators, Carolina Hurricanes. Would you like to set a table for us?
Yeah, sure. Let me let me see. Hold on. Where the hell are we?
Get it all together. Josh Garant back in action. Meanwhile, great to see you. Marvelous Mike, Lucas Ryan. And there's Razor Sharp Picks in the house. Razor Sharp Picks gave us the second half over at halftime, and we all cashed on that. Shout out to Razor. Razor has a little bet on his Philadelphia 76ers. Do you hear about this bet?
No.
He's bet him to win the championship.
Wow.
$5,000 on them to win the championship.
Oh, shit.
$60,000.
Wow.
That's more than the average American makes a year.
Yeah, that's a hell of a bet right there. Razor Sharp Picks. There.
Yeah. And
he's good to me. Sure.
Kyle Hintlian, and talk about big boy bets, says he wants to put $10K on the Guardians. So let's get to work. We have a ton of work to do. Yeah. We're going NHL, NBA, MLB, Senators, Hurricanes. Take it away, my man.
Okay, I guess we'll go kind of fast. Carolina, obviously an elite team, huge favorite here, but not really dominating. They've won 2 in a row, but still not really by big margins, and they're going under. So many games today, Jimmy the Bag. I have opinions. I'm not sure how many bets I'll actually have. You don't want to force it. But right now I'm thinking another under maybe. And Carolina is great, but this line just seems too high. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, do we expect certain teams to be putting out maximum effort?
Yeah.
That's the question this time of year in NBA and NHL. So you have to ask yourself, what do teams need to get right? Do teams need a win? Hurricanes have a game in hand and a 3-point lead on the Devils. It's important that they win this hockey game. It is important that they win this hockey game. This line opened up -266. It's now -263. From a total perspective, it opened up at 6.5 and has dropped to 6. I'm shocked. Now, obviously, I've got Cam Talbot listed, and an anti-ranta. If we could get these confirmed, because this was all put together pretty late last night. We're in PNC Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina. Slatsy says Ottawa lost to the Blue Jackets. Defense decimated. They are done. We talked about that last week. Throughout the history of our show, when a team's down 2 of their top 4 defensemen, we like to fade them and we like to bet unders. I think that both can be in play here. Carolina on the puck line and the under. Now, the 6.5 is now at 6, so we lost the opportunity there. But Chikrin being gone hurts. It hurts them. And then Shabbat, the bed, not in the lineup, both done for the year. It hurts. It hurts them badly. Nate Dogg says over 6, grab it. I will never bet. Not that I don't think that you are live, Nate Dogg, but I don't want those in Hurricane hockey games. They have allowed 3 goals over their last 4 games. So if you're going to hit the over, how many goals do the Hurricanes have to score? That's my concern, and that's why it's gone from 6.5 to 6. You have a Hurricanes team with a great coach in Rod DeBod, Brendan Moore, who's getting them ready for playoff time. Now, they're just 5-4-1, as you mentioned, over their past 10. 13.6% power play, 84% penalty killing. Ottawa's power play is 33.3% over this past 10 games, but I expect that to drop with Shabbat and Chikrin out, even though Brady Tkachuk and Stützle are spectacular forwards, and DeBrincat. You have a great group for the power play. Giroux. Senators coming off their second straight loss, 4-3 in overtime at Columbus on Sunday. I guess the more I discuss this, I think that the Hurricanes will keep playing good hockey, and they're probably worth a bet on the puck line.
You think they're going to come to play here? They need a win?
Well, they're 3 points up with a game in hand, and this is a sort of a gift hockey game for them. Talbot's looked very bad lately, very disappointing. I guess it is. I guess this is just the time where the Hurricanes are playing quite good hockey. I mean, 3 goals over their last 4 games, 4 straight unders. Yeah. They just seem to start. It looks like a couple of these teams are getting locked in for the playoff drive, and
Ottawa has injuries since their recent winning.
They have a real issue on defense, but why don't we go over exactly what's happening with this Senators spot? So they have Hamonic, Shabbat, and Chikrin out. So you have 3 of your top 4 defensemen out. Now Hamonic
were they out for the Philly win and the Florida win?
Shabbat and Chikrin were.
Right.
Hamonic, I believe, has just gone down. Let me see here. Hamonic went down March 31st. Yeah, so the Senators offense. Senators, we're going to want futures on next year. Their forward group is young, fast, talented. Got some veteran leadership with Giroux, but they're missing their. I guess you're right. I mean, do I really want to take a puck line here?
Carolina's not winning those puck lines, Jim.
No, they have not, but they're not allowing goals either.
Right.
And Cam Talbot is terrible.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to pass.
I can understand that. I have some interest in the -1.5. I've not made a bet this morning. It was 38 games. I wanted to make sure that we were prepared for you guys, so I focused on that at this point. But I can understand you passing, and the fact that it's gone from 6.5 down to 6. Let's move on. 7 p.m. Eastern, Buffalo Sabres, Florida Panthers, Florida Live Arena. Why don't you set a table for us, Pete?
Yeah, I don't know. Florida back home after 3 straight road wins. They pounded Columbus last game, but in general, they just still haven't been that good against their odds last bunch of weeks. And, Buffalo has won 4 of 5. I got to be thinking Buffalo first period. Why is this line so high? Is it justified?
Is it justified? I don't know. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. They've got Alex Lyon expected to be between the pipes for Florida. Again, let us know if that is wrong. This opened up with Florida -190. They're now -183. From a total perspective, it opened up at 7, -124 to the over. It's now -126 to the over. So 2-cent move to the over. Look, Devin Levi was spectacular on Friday. He was everything that we wanted him to be in that 3-2 overtime win over the Rangers. Dan Kelly's son was at that game. Slatsy saying Lyon confirmed and Levi probable. Real Deal Prime says Tage is back. And look, I don't ask for lightning to strike twice. And, Devin Levi had his dreams came true, and I bet you he's a real goaltender. I bet you, but we'll see. And I'm not going to ask him to create the magic. In fact, I would prefer to fade him in the second game. Josh Grant says Levi could very well carry Buffalo to the playoffs. They lack goalie strength. There's, at this point, the Sabres at this point they're about to be eliminated. I mean, they could win out. They could win 7 games and still not make the playoffs.
But they're still going to come to play, though, right here?
I just look. We all cashed on Devin Levi. It was great. We all cashed a plus 130. We were all on it. We were all on the Rangers on the back-to-back, and it was magical. Real Deal Prime says Levi's a franchise goalie. Levi gives the best chance for a Sabres win. Look, I'm not going to debate any of that, but I'm certainly not going to bet on him. I'm not going to ask him to do that again, create that kind of magic. Look, we talked about what he did at Northeastern. We talked about the second highest save percentage in the history of NCAA hockey. We talked about what it's like being a 6-foot goaltender. No scout wants to have anything to do with you, and he's taken it all the way here. If he was the size of Mad Sogard, he would have been a top 3 pick in the NHL draft. And Sogard is sick, I believe. Buffalo comes in off its second straight win in 4th and 5 games, 6-3 at Philadelphia on Saturday. Florida comes in off its third straight win, 7-0 at Columbus. Matthew Tkachuk is trying to will the Panthers into the playoffs. I tell you, look, I love the story, but this isn't fucking fairy tales. This isn't pretend. And I think Levi, sure, maybe a better goalie than Lyon. But you know what? In Real Deal Prime, I'm not saying he is the real, not the real deal. And Rico Money in the house, Rico Money, he rolled with us all through Costa Rica. Dope to see him here in the chat. Look,
all right, well, Jim, I'm going to take a couple of shots here. All right.
Of what?
You want to move on? All right. Okay. So I will take Buffalo first period money line plus 135. I'm seeing that at Caesars. Right. And I'm also going to take a shot with Buffalo -1 plus 280, -1 plus 280 at current line at Pinnacle. What the hell? These are all like very modestly sized bets, but I'm going to take a bunch of shots in today's card. I think probably lose a bunch, win a bunch. Hopefully, it'll come up a few units.
Justin McElvey already played the over 7. You know what? I don't want to mess with this one. Slots is setting Tage back in tonight. If this moves more towards Buffalo, I will bet the Florida Panthers here. Just to say that it's just not a fucking fairy tale. This is not a story I read to Ella at night. So yeah, we all got paid and that was fucking great, but I'm not going to sit here and expect them to do it again. So much so that here's another one of those spots where everybody's saying Buffalo and I don't agree. If we're talking about a team that needs it, look, Buffalo's not getting in the playoffs. I'll repeat it. They could win 7 games to finish the year, and they're not getting in the playoffs.
Sure. But they're going to come to play tonight or not.
I'm almost on the Panthers -1, and I expect to be on the Panthers -1 now that we've broken this down.
Okay. But you got my 2 plays in there, right?
I do. You have Buffalo first period plus 135 and the -1 at plus 280.
Yeah.
All right, let's roll on. Next up for us, 7 p.m. Eastern, Detroit Red Wings, Montreal Canadiens, Bell Center, Montreal, Quebec, Pete.
Geez, I don't know. Detroit, they've won 3 of 4. All is a big dog. Not bad, of course. Before that, they've been losing. And Montreal lost 3 in a row, but they might have some life to them. Is Montreal pissed after the last game? I don't really know. Detroit is playing with some life to them, but at the end of the year, sometimes teams will play with some life to them for a few games and go on the road and mail one in and then come back and play with life to them, the next 2 games at home. I'd be leaning Montreal here.
Well, this is kind of, we talk about our futures getting in the way. I've got the season point total over, and I could cash it here. Basically, in the next 6 games, I need 7 points from the Red Wings. And it's a $400 bet. I know we have cappers in the chat that bet a lot more than that, but I feel like I've got money on the Red Wings here. I don't want anything to do with the Habs. Losing 3-0 to the Hurricanes on Saturday is no issue, but I just don't. I believe the Habs are truly playing out the string, even though they play for St. Louis, and he's done a simply spectacular job with this squad. It's now the end of the year. They want a better draft position, and their injuries are just absolutely ludicrous. The longest list of any team in the NHL, and the Red Wings are playing pretty well. They're playing pretty well. And then Slatsy says, good luck with Primo Nets. Him starting over Sam and Allen is a clear message to me. Rocco Rogers says Red Wings money line. They're playing pretty damn good right now, and seems like they're practicing offense. I see Montreal giving in now, and I think that Slatsy's right about the decision to start Caden Primo.
Even at home. Even at home. Why don't we just take a look at their last few home games quickly before I decide to make a move? Yeah, I mean, okay? So Primo, he started at Philly, who's not a good team, but not a terrible team. They were a small dog, and they lost by 1. It doesn't. He doesn't seem like an absolute auto fade, is he?
No, but if you were trying to win right now, you would not be making. You wouldn't have him between the pipes. That's all. You wouldn't have him between the pipes. Rico Money's looking at the Montreal plus 1.5. Real Deal Prime says, what else is Montreal playing for? They're playing to have a better chance at Bedard. That's it. Andrew just saying who's so far superior. I agree with that, even though Husso's not looked great, over the last 2 months.
What about the under?
Let me just make sure that I got Tank here ready for baseball. Let's just take a look at the line history here for the total. By the way, this opened up with the Red Wings at minus 106. They're now minus 120. I agree with that move. This total at 6.5. I just don't trust that there will be defensive intensity in this game. This could be a little bit like of a shitty hockey game out there. With Josh Grant says, diehard Wings fan here. They either blow Habs or get blown out. And it's the end of the road trip as well. North Ender says the players are playing for their career. Look, I get that. I get that. Clint saying too bad Bedard is a Coyote. I might not even watch NHL next year if Bedard is in an Arizona Coyotes uniform. I might just abandon the fucking sport that I love so much. But we'll see, Clint. We'll see. Yeah, I think that the market move towards the Wings makes sense to me, and I expect the Wings to continue winning here on this trip. The problem is, it's the end of a road trip, and we're there at the Montreal strip clubs. The Montreal strip clubs are the best in the world, and that is a legit concern for a Wings team that has nothing to play for.
Best in the world. Are they natural or enhanced?
They're natural in contact dances, heavy contact.
All right. So you think a total here would be a coin flip as well?
I do. I just can't trust this. They go from Winnipeg to Toronto to Montreal. Wings are going to come play Buffalo next. I'm interested. I'm interested in. I think this market move to the Red Wings makes sense to me. So
okay. Well, all right. My gut tells me, and yes, in 2023, I still cap with my gut. My gut tells me Montreal on the under, but I'll pass.
Yeah,
People are like, how do you do it? You have a machine learning thing. No, my gut. That's how I do it. That's how I did it in March. That's how I'm going to do it in April.
Let's move on. 7 p.m. I'm interested in the Detroit Red Wings. Slatsy's in Montreal. This is his team, and he says the message that Primo's in net has been sent. They would like to improve their draft order. So I think I may pull the trigger on the Detroit Red Wings in this spot -1. They've been impressive of late. They won 3 of 4. They're scoring goals. They had a 2-game home stint where they beat the Penguins and the Hurricanes. Then they head to Winnipeg and lose 6-2 before beating Toronto 5-2, and now they get to play at the Bell Center. So I certainly lean towards the Detroit Red Wings, and we'll think about it as we go on, but I expect to pull the trigger.
Energy says quantum computing. I'd put my gut up against any quantum computer that Google can come up with any day of the year. Bring it, Google. Bring it, Apple.
Let's head to Newark, New Jersey, to the Prudential Center. And Skydragon says Pete's leans are the best. He knows you well. He knows you very well. And it does scare me that you lean towards the Habs here. Take it away, though, for us here, Pete. 7 p.m. Eastern, Penguins, Devils.
The Penguins, both these teams are supposed to be a little bit better than what they've been showing. At the same time, both teams are definitely capable of a win. New Jersey's off a bad loss. Feels like it's a big bounce back spot for them. Pittsburgh, I know they control their own fate, but they're kind of a let you down team. Line's a little high. I didn't bet it, but I was thinking maybe New Jersey, even at minus 150 or whatever it was on the overnight line. Yeah,
let's discuss what movement we've seen from this line. Opened up at minus 146 at Pinnacle yesterday, 2:11 p.m. Now at minus 153, slight move towards them. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 6.5, minus 123 to the over. It's now minus 124 to the over, a 1 cent move towards the over. Going back to get an exact feel for the standings in the Met, the Devils have a 3-point lead on the Rangers. They are coming off the embarrassing loss, 6-1 at the Jets on Sunday. And the Penguins are playing their third game in 4 nights.
What's your take on the Penguins in general? Are they should they be a good team, or are they just a team that's likely to be overvalued because of the stars?
They're just old.
Mm-hmm.
They're old. And Rico Money line says Pittsburgh Penguins as a dog. There's no way I'm going to bet against the Devils after they were embarrassed 6-1. I think that's where I start. And then secondly, I have a vividness bias of Crosby and Malkin that's gotten me in trouble over the last couple of years. That's cost me money, and it continues to do so. Tristan Jarry is extremely streaky. I've got him listed as in. It looks like he's starting to play a little better. They've won, 2 of 3, 4-2 win at home over the Flyers on Sunday. This is their third game in 4 nights. And I just think the Devils bounce back here. I really do. I really do. That was embarrassing. Is part of the reason and part of your cap here the fact that they were beaten so badly in the last game?
That's part of it. It's also that, all right, I'm going to make my official pick here, Jim, which is going to be the Devils' first period minus 135. Devils' first period minus 135. We also know that Pittsburgh, in general, even against anyone, tends to start slow. How many times have we seen in recent weeks, Pittsburgh down 2-0, 3-0, and then they come back and win the game, including that game against Columbus, right? I'm going to take New Jersey minus 135 on the first period money line and leaning full game as well, but I'll just stick with that for now.
Yeah, Bo Jackson liking the Devils with Bo Jackson's system, and is it Gematria? Am I pronouncing it right? How do you pronounce that?
Which one?
Bo Jackson's use of numbers here. There it is on the screen. And he does well with it. And I see a lot of cappers do well with it. And Big Show does it as well. And that tells him that the Devils are in play here. And okay, beautiful. Thank you, Jose. Look, I like the Devils here. They were just completely embarrassed. And I think that they bounce back here. I mean, they do want to not be forced to push it here at the end of the season. They need home ice advantage in Game 7 against the Rangers. So, I'm interested in Devils minus 1. But then, look, I don't want to sit here and get talked into favorites. And I've just started the show saying the Hurricanes, the Panthers, the Red Wings, and the Devils make sense. So, I just don't want to sit here with a whole bunch of favorites on my card but I expect the Devils to bounce back after being embarrassed. I guess it comes down to that. So maybe your first period look is the absolute perfect play. Maybe the Devils' first period, but -0.5 is the perfect play. Expect the Devils to come out firing. But this is a Penguins team on their third game in 4 nights. And why would they have legs in the third period, you know? Now, the Devils had to fly back from Winnipeg, but I certainly lean towards the Devils in this spot, Pete.
Some funny stuff in the comments section. Huge shout out to Bo Jackson. Yeah, I would love to double up, but I guess I'm just going to. I'm a little bit scared of Pittsburgh full game as a dog, as this big of a dog.
I mean, I guess, is it that?
But I'd also be leaning. I'd also be leaning Devils team total over. What's your objection to that?
It's Yari is the objection. He looked absolutely terrible there for a while. Then it looks like he's gathered himself. Let's just take a look at his last few spots here. Sorry, let's move over here. Let's just take a look at his last few games, because when he's off, he's absolutely atrocious. Right. And he just seems like he's sort of gathered himself. Let's look at these last 5 games. So he shut out Nashville, which is probably not that difficult. He's allowed now 8 goals in his last 4 games. So sure. He's turned the corner somewhat, and allowing 4 goals to the Bruins, is not the worst case scenario here.
But the Devils are a team that, offensively they can get, All right, I guess I'll just go with Devils first period. Although I'd love to take Devils team total over, love to take Devils -1. I'd love to, Jim.
Yeah,
I'd love to take second period over as well, but I won't.
Well, let's move on. I feel like I'm sort of capping this lazy, just like in the favorites here off
That's
the top.
All right.
Let's move on. Let's move on to Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario for our next spot on the board.
Oh, man, Columbus, Toronto. I mean, obviously it's a big Toronto spot, but the line is massive, right? Toronto, they're resting people, right, here and there in games, but they do need a win here. Am I correct? Am I capping this game? Toronto's likely going to come to play and try to get a win. Columbus off of a win, but obviously mostly losing. They get a win here and there. Strong overtrender, obviously. So this game has, to my eye, Toronto written all over it. But I'm sure even those fucking quantum computers could tell us never take a Toronto team at home as this huge of a favorite. Always overvalued at home as a big favorite.
Absolutely. But if it is Michael Hutchinson between the pipes, they're gonna score. I don't see Toronto playing with any effort or care right now. So losing 5.
Toronto does want this and need this, right?
Toronto does not really need it. I don't see the Lightning putting enough pressure on them. I know they have a game in hand on them, and they're up 4 points. But the Lightning have won 3 straight. We talked about the Lightning putting things together here. Mally Mal, great to see you, man. Also, we got Ron Crawford in the house. Columbus 3-6-1 over their past 10, 21.9% power play, 70.8% penalty killing. Leafs 5-3-2 over their past 10, 25.9% power play and 79.3% penalty killing. Both teams are playing their third game in 4 nights, which initially made me want to bet the over. Mm-hmm. Jackets snapped their 4-game losing streak with a 4-3 win in overtime at home over the Senators on Sunday. Leafs come in off their second loss in 3 games, 5-2 at home versus the Red Wings on Sunday. I was very interested. So Leafs opened at -368, now -412. I mean, that's just ludicrous. And the total opened up at 7. -122 to the under. It's now -132 to the under. So I imagine that the 6.5s are widely and readily available. And they are.
Mm-hmm.
If this goes down any more, is
that because they know someone offensively is going to be out?
It's possible. Guess. I mean, is Mitch Marner? I expect Mitch. They said that Mitch Marner would be back on Tuesday, and he's been spectacular this year. By the way, spreadsheet play today is the New Jersey Devils.
Oh, there you go.
Spreadsheet play today is the New Jersey Devils from our Ron Crawford. If this goes down anymore, I don't care if Austin Matthews doesn't play. Like I wouldn't concern me. I think there's going to be goals in this, and I wonder. I don't want a -135 spot, but I expect goals tonight in Toronto. I expect sort of a carefree hockey game from both squads, and I would like to get in on the over. Two tired teams playing their third game in 4 nights, with not a lot of emotion, but you're in the center of the hockey world. So I'm interested. Dabby Cab in the house. What up, Dabby Cab? So Daniel's son, what up? So yeah, I'd like to get in on the over in this spot.
Mm-hmm. I would too, but I'm tempted to take a big favorite line on the first period over, but I'm going to hold or do the old safe over 6 play at -188, but I'm going to hold off, Jim.
Yeah, okay, grab that. Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day is in. By the way, Pete, all of Ron Crawford's MLB spreadsheet plays of the day, we are tracking this season for average line and units and all of that. Something that he wanted, which I love.
Wow, fucking round Ron Crawford. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool. So he is a locked-in spreadsheet play of the days in, and we will discuss it when we talk Pirates Red Sox. But yes, I would like to get in on the 6.5. It's just how much juice am I willing to pay, and should I instead turn it into a 7? So I'll have to make that decision. But I think there's going to be goals in this hockey game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's move on here. Next up for us, a game that a lot of people are talking about here.
Take a shot. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Were you going to take a shot in this Leafs game?
Yeah, it's it could burn me, but I think it's okay. I'm going to take the first period over 1.5 -174. Should probably take the 2 at small plus money, but I'm just gonna take it. Columbus, it's just super obvious. First period over 1.5 -174. I'll take it.
Yeah, I get it. I absolutely get it. Next up for us, we had the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee, Pete, and we got it. I should quicken up the pace a little bit myself, so let's fire away.
Okay, Vegas, Nashville, both playing on a back-to-back. Vegas won both of a home and home against Minnesota. Now they're traveling to Nashville. Obviously, Vegas is the much better team, playing to for the Pacific Division lead. Just a bad spot for them, though. But Nashville, it's just one of these teams that just kind of tends to let you down, even in spots that are good for them. They got beat down at Dallas last night. They just haven't been winning. I was initially thinking Nashville, but then pass after seeing the low line and just looking into it a little bit more.
Look, Vegas, that was an impressive 2 wins against Minnesota. Every time I think they're going to start, every time I expect them to be vulnerable, they step up. Mm-hmm. I do not think that Johnny Quick is a good goaltender, but what can you say? I mean, they keep winning hockey games. Can they possibly turn it up again here against Nashville in a meaningless game for the Predators? Vegas opens up at -132. They're now -137. I mean, that line alone tells me that the Predators are live in this spot.
I mean, the Preds are. It's meaningless, yes, but they're technically not mathematically eliminated.
No, and that was a surprise. I mean, the Predators, were missing all these centermen, and we talked about it. Like, the mistake I made capping was I didn't realize that, get Duchesne and Johansson off the ice. Get it. I wasn't. Now you have guys who want it so badly. So Johansson, Forsberg, Duchesne out, Parson out. You have 4 centermen out, and then you have Roman Josi, the Norris Trophy winner of last year, out. So I don't know how Nashville keeps doing this. The line tells us that they can compete in this hockey game with all these injuries, and the whole thing is oh wow, Coin, is that right? So Greaves, let me that's interesting. I thought it was going to be Hutchinson. Look, Vegas keeps winning. Why would they not take care of business here? And look, Levi Merrilainen in net for the Sens. Wow. So very important stuff coming in from the chat. Thank you guys for keeping an eye on the goaltending situation.
There's also been a huge move to Vegas, though, since the overnight. Not huge, 15 cents.
Let me move over to the money line. I only have because you're talking about overnight. Yeah, because this didn't come out till 8:05 this morning at Pinnacle. I think that's the line was just short. What does that tell you? Some people say, "My God, Vegas is rolling right now. Look how short that line is. I got to get on it immediately." And there's nothing wrong with that sentiment. But when I see the line the way it was, I think, everybody knows Nashville's live here because the Knights just expended a ton of energy. The Predators coming off a 5-1 loss last night at Dallas, their second loss in 3 games. They've been playing really good hockey. So Slatsy says Preds played their first game after the shooting tragedy, 1-6-1 versus the Blues. I think they're emotionally done.
Yeah. All right, Jim, pass for me, but Ron Crawford's strategy play of the day is New Jersey. Add on for me the Devils -1 plus 103. Current line of Pinnacle. Devils -1 plus 103.
I like it.
Thank you.
-1 plus 103.
This game free play. I don't even know what I would do. Let's move on. Don't even know what I would do with the free play unless you want to bet it. Unless you want to pick here.
Sean Pulliam on a heater in MLB. I love hearing that, Sean. Yeah, I'm very curious to see how the Golden Knights react. Also, you guys know that if the Oilers win the division, which now certainly looks unlikely, even though the Oilers are unbeatable right now, it's crazy that they're not going to be able to do it. If they win the division, I'm completely set. I have no concerns whatsoever. I'm going to make money with all my futures, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So I feel like I've got added incentive to watch the Knights lose. So I'm going to stay off this spot and just cheer on the Predators. Let's move on. Let's head to Enterprise Center in St. Louis, Missouri, Pete. Flyers, Blues.
Oh, gosh, there's so many freaking games. Flyers, Blues. Where the hell is that game? One second. Oh, yeah, Flyers, Blues. All right, St. Louis almost beat Boston last game as a huge home dog, and that eliminated them for the playoffs. So is this a letdown here, or do they pull out a win here? Philly, 3 straight losses, kind of close, but, they're playing with some life at times. I don't know. It's a judgment call. I guess I'd be leaning St. Louis here, but want to hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah, I've got Binnington versus Hart. Blues 35-35 and 7, 16-16 and 6 at home. I don't know, just from a personal standpoint. I guess the Robert Thomas signing, I get it, but and then you have Kyrou. I don't think those are the right players to build around. At least they have Parayko, who is a stud and huge and reminds me of Pronger. Carter Hart, Binnington is what I have. Rocco Rogers says nonstop have been cashing Blues overs, and Robert Franklin on the over 6.5. And Billy Fisher saying going over of late. Hart versus Binnington. Hart is a better goaltender, and Binnington's really looked bad this year. Philly 5-3-2 over their past 10, 20.8% power play, 75.8% penalty killing. St. Louis 6-2-2, 10.7% power play, 57.6% penalty killing. That is absolutely atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. Both teams are playing their third game in 4 nights, so you can expect some heavy legs. Slatsy says Thomas and Buchnevich still day-to-day. I mean, that hurts their offense, but they're still scoring. Flyers coming off their third straight loss 4-2 at Pittsburgh on Sunday. Blues coming off their second straight loss 4-3 at home to Boston on Sunday. I guess this game makes me uncomfortable to really find an edge. Let's just discuss the line movement and the total right now.
I'll tell you, my gut on this one says under, but if a quantum computer said over, then I would trust the quantum computer.
The Blues opened up -120. They're now -123. The Flyers are playing hard. This total opened up at 6.5. There's been no movement, but it didn't come out until 8:05 this morning at Pinnacle. Rico money liking Blues money line. I don't want the. I don't feel like I have an edge that I can bet on in this spot here.
There's also been a notable move to Philly from the overnight.
Yeah, and it's a bit surprising for a team that's won 12 of 37 games on the road in regulation. So yeah, Slatsy says over 5-1 last 6 in St. Louis, but and look at that. Yeah, I don't want to be involved in this one. There's lots of options on the board here. Why don't we head over to Scotiabank Saddledome in Calgary, Alberta, Pete?
God, I really want to take the under in that one, Jim. You know what? I think I might throw it on there. I know we got to keep a brisk pace, but you think it's incredibly stupid under?
No, I don't. The fear, of course. If you look at the skill set on these two hockey teams, it's not good. I mean, There's not a ton of skill. You'd say the Blues have some skill, but if Bucci and Thomas are out,
yeah, I can already feel the "don't do it, Pete" comments coming in, and I understand it, and you might be right. But if it does go under, I'm going to be really pissed off that I made such an astute analysis and didn't make it official. We can make that official. Philly, St. Louis, under 6.5, -106 at Pinnacle.
Under 6.5, -106. JW liking this Blackhawks Flames under a 6. Billy Friedrich says, I keep hearing Carlson's going to win the Norris. Tell me it ain't so. He's a -14. I'm furious sticking on Adam Fox too. It's awful. It's absolutely atrocious. Your team shouldn't be the worst team in the league if you're the best defenseman in the league. It just shouldn't happen. He should not win the Norris, and it's a disgrace. It's a fucking disgrace. He can score 100 points, and he does not deserve the Norris Trophy.
And also, we got to keep a brisk pace, but huge shout out to everyone in the comment section. You make my Tuesdays and my entire life so much better. Huge shout out to everyone. Don't have time to list all the names, but you know who you are.
Billy Friedrich says Blackhawks now in first for Bedard. They have a 25.5% chance of getting the number 1 pick. That's who I'd prefer he goes to. We want something good for the NHL. But let's go. Let's keep rolling, Pete. Next up for us, Blackhawks Flames. Take it away.
Blackhawks Flames. Wow. Yeah. All right. So Chicago can't buy a win, right? Calgary, 4 straight wins. For that, they've been 50-50. Calgary, I believe, does need a win here, right? And they're playing well. So, at -220, I would be all over Calgary, baby. At -420, I don't fucking know. You tell me, Jimmy Bag. Maybe second period over?
Calgary is putting it together and turning it on, and I'll leave it to Daryl Sutter's group to, if they get into the playoffs, which is likely right now, they're just they have the type of makeup and coach where they can go on a real run, and it disgusts me to say that out loud. Now, hopefully, Markstrom will be their Achilles heel. Mrazek is listed on the other side. I don't know if he's going to be between the pipes. Chicago 2-8 over their past 10, 15.4% power play, 78.3% penalty killing. Calgary 6-2-2, 28.6% power play, 84.0% penalty killing. Coin saying Calgary huge game on deck tomorrow with Winnipeg. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Sky Dragon says, why is Calgary playing back-to-back Winnipeg tomorrow? So gross. Anything for their precious Jets.
But they need a win here, right? I'm not wrong, right?
They do. Yeah. They need a win here. No doubt about it. They need a win. Let's take a look at the line history here. I imagine they take care of business, but you nailed it. I mean, a -200, -220, sure, but they opened up at 400. Now they're -439 at Pinnacle. And totals wise, this opened up at 6.5 juice to the under, and it's moved to 6 juice to the over. Take it away, Pete. What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, at -220. Oh man, would I be all over Calgary here?
Slatsy says sitting on Hawks to finish last at +400, but going to be a sweat. Says can't believe how many shitty teams there are in the NHL. Yeah, I don't want to get involved here. But I imagine the Flames will take care of business. I imagine they'll hold the Blackhawks down. That's one thing that you can sort of count on from these guys. Except, look, I mean, they just won 5-4 at home over the Ducks on Sunday. I don't know how you can trust the Flames at this price, and I want them to lose. Why
is the total crashing or going down?
Because it's a Daryl Sutter coached hockey team in a must-win game. The Ducks game was just wild. How many years have we watched Sutter's teams, play very strong, accountable hockey? It's a bias towards what we expect from this Calgary Flames team, not what they're giving us, but what we expect.
Yeah. All right. I guess let's move on. But did I see Jimmy Gomez in the comment section? Is he here?
Yeah, Jay Go in the house. Yeah, man.
Look what I got right here, right in front of me. Jimmy Gomez, thank you so much. It just makes me feel good. It's not for good luck. It just makes me feel good. This is a Joe Burrow rookie card that Jimmy Gomez gifted me as a friend. Shout out to you, Jimmy Gomez. Got it sitting right here next to me as I do this show. All right, I'm going to pass, Jim.
Yeah, Jimmy Gomez is the best, man. He hooked me up, too, with some real special shit, man. I got it right under my Fergie Jenkins card right there, or ball right there. Yeah, Jay Go's the best, man. Let's move on. I don't want to be involved in this game. I can't wait to cap tomorrow's Jets-Flames game. Wham Bam in the house. Wham Bam ready to get ready for NBA. We have a huge NBA card, but we still have 3 games in NHL. Next up, Kraken Canucks.
This is the one game where I thought maybe there is some value here on the overnight line. Still didn't bet it. Want to hear what you guys have to say about it. But Vancouver eliminated from the playoffs on Sunday, right? Seattle back-to-back blasted Arizona last night, but they're not the most reliable team in the world. And Vancouver, they do have some life to them here and there. So I was thinking maybe Vancouver, maybe more so Vancouver team total over. I think Vancouver probably comes to play. No?
It's a home game against the team that's supposed to be our rival here. You have Martin Jones in net. He's atrocious. I don't see how they could start him in any of these playoff games here. Steve G says must win for the Kraken. Seattle 5-4-1 over their past 10, 17.2% power play, 77.8% penalty killing. We get back to the standings here with the Kraken. I'd sure love to see them, slip out, but I don't see how that's possible. They have a game in hand on the Flames and 5 points, so I don't see how that could possibly happen here. But does it matter if you play the winner of the Central or the winner of the Pacific? I don't think it really matters here. I don't think there's a big difference. Vancouver 5-3-2 over the past 10, 21.9% power play, 83.3% penalty killing. We talked about Seattle being on the second half of back-to-back. The Canucks coming off their third straight loss, 4-1 at home to the Kings on Sunday. They certainly have a rest advantage. The Canucks should be live here. They really should be live against Martin Jones. Let's just take a look at the line history here. They opened up at minus 100. Now the Kraken were minus 112 favorites this morning at 8:09 a.m. Let's see what BetOnline opened this up at, because they would have got it out yesterday. They got this out yesterday before noon with the Kraken at minus 115. Kraken are now minus 104. I agree with this market move towards the Canucks. I think the Canucks are live here. I think they can score Martin Jones. It scares me to bet Vancouver, especially against a team that is playing with so much on the line. But, the Nucks are still trying to impress Docket. They're still trying to impress their new coach. And you have Pedersen on the verge of 100 points. And we have a very select few knuckleheads that have ever scored 100 points. So there's some excitement around that. This total at 6.5 minus 129 to the over. Yeah,
all right, I'm going to start with one play here, Jim.
Sure.
Could lose, but it's okay. Vancouver team total over 3.5 plus 112. Current line of Pinnacle. Vancouver team total over 3.5 plus 112. Could lose.
Over 3.5 or plus 112. I get it. I think the Canucks are live here. I think, I know it was a 8-1 destruction, but, the Canucks are rested. They're at home. Yeah, I think this market move towards the Canucks makes sense. Let's see what Clint has to say. He says Kraken beat the Canucks for the first time the last time these teams played. Canucks 6-1 all time versus the Canucks. He says, give me the Canucks and the over. Archie 20 on Bjorkstrand over a half point at plus 108. And Comentini looking at the Canucks team total as well. So Slatsy says Kraken 1-6 last 7. Overs 5-0-2 last 7 should be goals. Billy Fredour says Kraken have alternated wins and losses their last 10 games. They won their last game. Yeah, I think that the knuckleheads are very live here, and I think I'm very close to moving on them.
Yeah, I'd love to take a shot with Canucks to score in the first period at minus 206, but I won't. That's a little cracked out. I won't do that.
That's heavily juiced here, but let's talk about the most important game on the board for us Western Conference followers. Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles, California, Pete.
I don't know, man. I was thinking maybe best to pass, maybe under or first period under, but I got nothing really. Obviously Edmonton is winning game in and game out. LA also strong, not quite as strong. Back home from after the 4-game trip, also under trending. I really don't know. If you gave me a free play right now, I guess I would throw it maybe on the first period under, maybe.
Yeah, that first period under makes a ton of sense. I'm a little surprised at this total. It's 6.5. There's been this 6-cent move to the over. To the under. My bad.
You'd expect it to be higher?
No, lower. There's so much on the line.
Right.
There's so much on the line. How could this total be at 6.5?
Because when these teams get going and start doing what they do, like in the second and third periods, they just start scoring. They're like, things are on the line now. Let's put up some goals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's just so much on the line. We saw what happened the last time these two teams met. It was 2-0. both power plays are absolutely electric. Matty Ice looking at the first period under playoff intensity. The Oilers come out in off their 4 straight wins, 6-0 at home over the Ducks on Saturday. This is the start of a crucial 4-game trip. Crucial. And they only have 5 games left in the year. They play Anaheim tomorrow night. Christopher Comtine says the King D has been on point. Yeah, I don't see how this isn't under 6.5 hockey game. But the thing is that if I move on the under 6.5, I need the first period under as well, because I don't want, we know that there's going to be intensity here, and if one team gets ahead and the other team lets go, then the floodgates could open up here. Matty Ice says 2 of the 3 games has not even come close to going over. Yeah, and look at Stuart Skinner. He could get hot here. The question I guess there's no question. You have to play Stuart Skinner here and then put Soupy Dumps in against the Ducks. So I like the unders in this spot. But Slatsy's right. Like, I've got so much involved here. I need the Oilers to win this hockey game just to have any hope at all at the division. But I'll have a better idea. Like, if the Knights just keep winning, man. I did not expect them to win both games. When I heard that they'd won last night against the Wild and shit, like, it was just like a punch to my stomach. I was like, oh God, how did the Wild not get me? How did they not get me a win against the Kings? I needed just one fucking win against them in the home and home. They get me none. Mandy Ice says huge game defense is a priority for both teams. When you play the Edmonton Oilers, you better be defensively accountable and you better not put them on the power play. So, I like the first period under 1.5 and the full game under 6.5.
All right. I'll admit it makes me nervous, but I will take I'll take the first period under. Actually, at Pinnacle, it's 2 minus 140. So I'll just take that. I'll just take Edmonton, LA, first period under 2 minus 140, current line at Pinnacle.
You got it. First period under 2 minus 140. Billy Friedrich says this could be a nice OT look. 3-2 final. Christopher Comte says kicked Mike M off the stream. I love Mike M so much, and I love capping with him, but that one hurt, man. I just, I'll be sitting so nice if they can win the division, so nice, and like, that one got me right in the old prison pocket, So that one hurt, man. I like what our thoughts around this hockey game. I like them. I can't wait. What
about that defenseman being out? Just very quickly, we got Alex Edler.
It's Edler's a important force in the dressing room, but he's not look, the Canucks fans, they love him because of his consistency, but it's not the Kings will be fine without Edler.
All right, it's just so scary to take it under in any way, shape, or form with Edmonton. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
Not now.
Not now. Okay.
Not now. This is everything is on the line here to win the division, and it's important. It's important to win the division. I mean, I think the last thing the Oilers want is a 7-game series against the Kings, with the Kings having home ice advantage. So let's put the division away for a second. The Oilers need home ice advantage, even though they've been better on the road, you could say, than at home. But I know that's changed a little bit of late, and it should continue to change. You don't want the Kings to have home ice advantage in a 7-game series. You do not want to head down to LA to start the series off. So this is going to be a very, very intense hockey game and a great hockey game. 2 good hockey teams.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the final spot on the board, Pete. Avalanche, Sharks, and then Wham Bam can jump on and we can walk through this giant NBA camp.
All right. I don't know. Colorado, of course, winning most of their games recently. San Jose, 3 straight wins off of a long run of losing. But Colorado also is still looking for wins. Is San Jose's winning for real? Colorado, of course, is getting healthier. I don't know, man. I guess it's obviously, again, a Colorado spot, but the line, I think, is just probably too high. I'm going to pass.
Yeah, I mean, the Oilers are going to have a big game in San Jose here coming up in this 4-game trip. San Jose, after losing all year at home, has looked a little better at home of late. Colorado opening up at minus 219, they're now minus 250. I mean, it's tough for these other teams because Colorado needs to win hockey games. This total opened up 6.5 plus money to the over. It's now, minus 107 to the over. I get that. San Jose 3-4-3 over their past 10, 21.9% power play, 81.3% penalty killing. Georgiev has been everything I thought he was going to be. He's been very good, getting out of the shadow of Shesterkin. Colorado comes in off its 4th win in 5 games, 5-2 at home over Dallas on Saturday. Coin says Colorado to win the Central has some legs, enormous road trip on deck. They have to win this hockey game. They just simply have to win this hockey game. Let's just go over the standings. This is the final spot on the board here, but right now they are 2 points back of both the Wild and the Stars with 2 games in hand. I mean, they win this game and they're in the driver's seat for the division. You have to think that, even at -1.5 plus 100 is legit, So I think the Avalanche take care of business. Slatsy says Kakinen confirmed for the Sharks. Kakinen's been bad this year. 9, 18, and 6, 3.83 goals against average, 880 save percentage. He's been so bad. I mean, is there been a goalie worse than him? Maybe Johnny Quick, who's looked a little better of late. Before I say that don't worry about it. This Avalanche team is just going to take care of business and take this run and win the division. All that. Let's just look at what we've seen from Kakinen of late, and then that will give us the confidence to then, and then maybe somebody would be interested in the over. I'm not, but let's just let's just take a look at Kakinen here quickly, and then move on to NBA. Here we go. So Kakinen's last few games, the one at Arizona. Before that win, he'd looked absolutely atrocious. 4 goals allowed against Calgary, 4 goals allowed against the Islanders, 6 goals allowed against the Jackets. He's allowed 10 goals in his last 2 home games. He just gets touched. He just gets lit up. In the month of March, he had 6 games, and he allowed 31 goals. He had a 5.72 goals against average and an 840 save percentage. So who cares that he had one good game in Mullet Arena in front of 4,000 people? You're going to start getting scored on again in front of 19,000 at the tank. So, yeah, the Avs on the puck line, -1.5 for me. But
seems all right. Yeah, Jimmy Gomez likes it. Rico Money likes it. Billy Friedrich likes it.
Yeah, I'm with the guys there. I'm with Mikey M and Billy Friedrich and Slatsy looking at the team total of +3.5 -137. And Rocco Rogers says Avs regulation and team total over 2.5 is one of his best bets today. Billy Friedrich says Sharks 3-7 on the home puck line last 10. But yeah, I think the Avs just simply take care of business here in a game that's crucial for them. You don't want to come into these late games sloppy and with everything on the line to win the division. They won't be. And also playing on the road, I think, helps. If they were playing at home here, obviously the line would be bigger, but I wouldn't, that there could be some complacency. But here, on the road, having to play a clean hockey game, I think they just go in and are business-like and take care of business. And Kyle Hintley looking at dropping $3K on them. So, yeah. Rocco says Avs are the only team in the league that consistently win the must-win games. Remo says, is Pete Italian, Afghani, Turkish?
Oh man, I could have utilized that for so many jokes in my career, Jimmy the Bag. Oh man, shout out to you, Rem Most. Yeah, I mean it's San Jose's not that good. They won 3 in a row. It's just kind of wacky, right? I mean, but they beat Vegas though. That's for real.
They used to say that you look like a cab driver in Kabul.
Oh, man. That was one of my. I won't talk about it. We'll talk about it some other time when we're having a show where we just talk about all our lifetime jokes that we could have made or whatever. Yeah, right. I want to take advantage of it at one point in my life.
Let's review all NHL action here. I don't think I want the Hurricanes on the puck line. It just. But I'm certainly going to look at it a little bit more, but I don't know if I'm going to add that. Pete gets his card started with Buffalo first period +135 and the -1 at +280. And I'm going to bet against a Devin Levi's Magic here. I'm going to take the Panthers on the -1 line. I just don't believe in fairy tales, man. There are no fairy tales in Shawshank, Devin. Red Wings money line. I would take them probably on the -1, even though it's cheap. Then Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today is on the Devils. Loshak Devils first period -135, -1 plus 103. I'd like to ride with you guys. Devils coming off being embarrassed, need home ice for the playoffs. I'm very interested in joining you guys on the -1. Columbus and Toronto. I don't want -135 here, and I think there's going to be goals scored. I'm going to see what it would cost for the 7. I don't want any vig. I don't want to bother with juice. If it goes down anymore, maybe. Pete's on the first period over 1.5 -174. Vegas, Nashville, we have stayed off. Pete's on the under 6.5 -106 in Philadelphia, St. Louis. Blackhawks, Calgary, we stayed off. Pete's on the Canucks over 3.5 plus 112. I'm going to be on the Canucks tonight. I think it's good. I think, after you win 8-1 at home, feel good about yourself. Canucks have lost 3 straight, and they're playing tough hockey teams. And then you're on the first period under 2 in Edmonton, LA. I'm going to double up on the first period under 1.5 and the under 6.5.
And you know what, Jim? You can throw on Avs team total. Heritage still has 3.5 -130. I'll take Avs team total over 3.5 -130.
Pete is on the Avs team total over 3.5 at -130. Real Deal Prime says I'm cashing with Levi. We all cashed with him in game 1. I'm curious to see if he can do it again here. And I love the kid. But this ain't a popularity contest. It's about making fucking money. So Slatsy loves the Avs play. And Real Deal Prime. I'm going to have to. That's going to be a big one. Who would have thought a Buffalo Sabres Panthers game at this time of the year would be big here? Wow. Bo Jackson says Ken Girard passed away at the age of 86 today. Ken played 7 games with the Maple Leafs between 1956 and 1960. So rest in peace to the Girard family. Rest in peace to Kevin Girard and love to the Girard family. Sorry to hear about the loss. Let's move on to NBA, Pete. We got a huge card in NBA and just the man for the job. Are you ready to move sports here?
Yeah, I just remembered what my joke was when people asked my ethnicity was. You want me to tell you what it was? My joke was?
Yes, very much.
I was like, I would always say, I don't know, and I don't want to know, because whatever it is, I'm sure it's bad. Not bad. I wrote that, Jimmy the Bag, right?
Let's go. Let's get to work here in NBA. Get to work in NBA and bring on your next guest, man. God, I love it. When the game goes, is Compton in the house? I remember being in LA and being in a club and I'd hear is Compton in the house, and I would peek around just to see. I'd like to know, is in the house right now here with us to cap this NBA card. Please welcome to the show, Wham Bam 3000.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Up in this map.
Great to see you, Trot Wam.
Sir.
Hell yeah. Look what I'm wearing today. Green. Green is for the money. White is for the purity. Purity of spirit.
I love it.
Wham Bam, what a giant card we have here. This is not easy.
Not a drill. This is not a drill.
Let's get right to work here. We also have a full MLB card. We have so much work to do. So let's get after it. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Toronto Raptors, 39-39, 13-25 on the road. Charlotte Hornets, 26-53, 13-26 at home. We are at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. Toronto 4-1 over their past 5, and their pace has slowed down considerably. 94.8 possessions a game, closing in on the play-in berth. And who knows, they could quite possibly get. Well, I guess they can't. The Nets have gone on a nice run to screw that over. Charlotte 3-2 over their past 5, playing at a pace 100.40 possessions a game. Let's bring up the cash and the move over here, the line history. So we'll start with the line history here. Move over here and let's roll. These teams just met 2 days ago. The Raptors are huge road favorites. This is pretty ridiculous at this point. Pinnacle opened this up at 14. It's now 14.5. From a totals perspective, this opened up at 223. Juice to the over. It's now a pick 'em, so it's been an 8-cent move to the under. When we get to the cash flow here, let me get to all markets. Here we go. When we get to the cash flow, we have 36% of the tickets and 52% of the cash on the Raptors. So big bets have come in on the Raptors. The market is moving towards the Raptors. Then 29% of tickets and 82% of cash on the under. These teams just met here in a 128-108 Raptors win on Sunday. It was the Raptors' fourth win in 5 games, and it was the second straight very lopsided loss for the Charlotte Hornets. Billy Freak says, I don't see a team total for the Raptors, but in 3 games this season versus Hornets, they're averaging 128 points per game. Saturated says the last week of the season is always super tricky. Let's go with Pistol Pete. What do you think of this huge spread, and what do you think of this spot here at the Spectrum Center?
Dude, I don't really know. I may have no picks on this entire NBA card, but I mean the Hornets playing out the string with some newcomers. It's the second of a 2-game set here. I would be leaning Charlotte, maybe full game, maybe first half, something like that. But I'd be leaning Charlotte.
A lean towards Charlotte. I get it, but seeing the big bets on the Toronto and the market even moving a half point in their direction makes me nervous about having anything to do with them, and I don't want anything to do with them. Wham Bam, take it away. Raptors, Hornets.
Sorry, guys. I was muted there. Well, you said it, bro. They just played. This is one of 3 games left for both teams. There's 1, 2, 3. Cancun for the Hornets. We already know a lot of the guys are already shut down. This is a chance for the Raptors to go above 500. So obviously the spread, they're going to win. They're going to get above 500 here. I think they're going to win this game. Big spread here. Mark Williams will play in this game. Steve Clifford was talking about Fred VanVleet getting that 20 assists, being able to pick and roll genius out there looking crazy. Maybe he tries to throw it off a little bit there, but I don't think it's going to be anything changing. I think early spot for the Raptors, though. I think the -5 first quarter is a good spot. Just the Hornets being bad in the first quarter at the house. I think they only covered 3 of the last 10 first quarters at the house. So I'll go against that quicker than I'll go against the full game here. Just something telling me, like you guys saying, like Hornets may be able to pull out the cover here. I don't know if Steve Clifford can make any adjustments. I think it's just they're going to get smacked up here in this game. And if I was to think any props, it's kind of tough because I don't know if it's going to be a blowout or not. So I'm going to stay away from that. Yeah, that's pretty much it for it. I don't really got anything in this game as far as official bets, but I'm thinking first quarter of Raptors is my biggest lean to -5. I would take that.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm always hesitant when the teams play again after an ass kicking, but feels like the Hornets have checked out. If you watch their last 2 games, and they've lost by a combined 50 points. So,
but those young guys are going to be fighting anyway, though, aren't they?
You think, and you just got beaten. You just got slapped in the face, in front of your home fans, whatever are left of your home fans in the last game. So, but this game, this does not appeal to me. Seeing the bigger bets on the Raptors market moving towards Raptors makes me not want to be involved.
Okay.
I'm off. Bam's off. Did you want to make anything official here, Pete?
Maybe at the end of the show I'll add on Charlotte, but for now, no.
All right. Mally Mouse's Raptors first quarter -5 is -115. Bobby Boucher's dropped his Bobby Bomb play of the day. That game is coming up here shortly. Let's move on to another spot here. 7 p.m. Eastern, Miami Heat, 41-37, 15-23 on the road at Detroit Pistons, 16-6, 29-30 at home at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Miami 2-3 over their past 5, playing at a very slow pace, 93.80 possessions a game. Detroit now has lost 9 straight games. Over their past 5, they're playing at a pace 98.10 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history here for this spot. Go over here. And here we go. These Pistons opened up as 11-point home dogs, now 13-point home dogs. This total opened up at 220.5 and has dropped to 217.5. 14 minutes ago, there was a 1.5 drop. I wonder if that is injury related, player news related. I'm going to pull up my Roto World here. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this Pistons Heat spot. Do you have 30% of the tickets and 38% of the cash on the Pistons, but market clearly moving towards Miami. Total-wise, 27% of the tickets and 60% of cash on the under, and the market moving towards the under. That makes sense to me. He snapped their 3-game losing streak with 129-122 win at home over Dallas on Saturday, and the Pistons come in off that 9th straight loss, 128-102 at Orlando on Sunday. So the Heat with a rest advantage in a must-win basketball game against a weak opposition. What do you think here, Pistol Pete? Miami, Detroit?
I don't know, but shout out to Yo-Yo Mendez 89 for a great comment on the Hornets, talking about how they beat Dallas twice recently. I feel the same way about this game as the other one. The Heat, are going to be, you're not exactly sure who they're going to be playing and how much. Detroit is a bad ATS recently, but getting this many points, obviously the Heat prepping for the playoffs, I'd be leaning Detroit.
Yeah, I get it. Again, I'm just very hesitant to have anything to do with them. Bam is listed as probable for this spot.
Yeah.
So that is, helpful. Kyle Lowry, questionable. And then for the Pistons, Bagley with the concussion right now. So take it away for us here, Wham Bam. Any interest in Heat Pistons?
Yeah, not that much, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I think this is one of those games that you see Jimmy Butler goes off though. This is a tough game. I kind of would agree with you, Pete. I probably would think that the Heat. I'm sorry, the Pistons are probably at a good spot here. Jaden Ivey has been playing really well. Both those guys been averaging about 8 assists over the last 4 games. As far as Jaden Ivey and Jimmy Butler, just been going crazy on the assist side. Kyle Lowry is still questionable, but like you said, Bam is just now probable around 8 o'clock today. So about an hour ago, they announced that. So the line didn't really move too much. So maybe he was already locked in on the spread. I kind of just would only think Pistons here, but so many games today, I didn't want to force it too much. And this is a game that I feel like if I am having any action in, I might be forcing it. So I'm going to stay away from this game. This is a backwood for me too.
You know what, Jimmy? I hear you. I agree with everything you guys said. You can put me on it. I'm seeing it at Will Hill right now, 13.5 minus 110. So we'll make that official. Pistons plus 13.5 minus 110.
All right. Loshak is in. Pistons plus 13.5 at minus 110. I wonder if there's an expectation of defensive intensity. I imagine that it would be in the first half. I imagine that in the second half, you might see, unless it's a close game, which is possible. But what do you think about like the Pistons first half team total under 52.5?
You said the Pistons first half team total under.
Yeah, under
right?
52.5. Yeah.
So into that, bro, you kind of what you're putting in there. You know why you're putting that bet in, because they don't have anybody out there to score. The only thing is for me is that the Heat, they are needing this game though. They want to try to catch up. I believe they're not that far as the standings here. They're out 2 games, so they're 2 games able to get out the play-in, and there's 4 games I believe left for this Nets team. So they got a small chance. They got a small chance of getting out the play-in, but so this game is kind of serious for them. As far as defensive wise, they haven't been the best. You know what I mean? So, but I do like Bam back in there. I like that team total under, but it's just something that, again, I feel like I'm forcing it, so I can't really give you a strong opinion on either side.
We have BJ's best bet in. It correlates with Bobby Boucher's bomb of the day. Thank you for sharing that with us, BJ. I've got both of those copied and pasted. Mally Mal says we spending too much time on this game. There's Don Mac in the house. What up, Don Mac? Nice to have you back in action with us. Okay, well, we have 2 pretty ugly games to start off. And
just want to say, tell me you didn't just say that. Says Pistons money line probably has value as well. All right, let's move on. But that was shocking greed there. Yes.
I'm going to just put some question marks around that first half team total under 52.5. I just imagine if the Heat are going to be locked in, I would expect it to be early, but I'm a little hesitant here. But Pete has made a move on the plus 13.5 here. Plus 13.5 on the Detroit Pistons. Let's move on to the next spot on the board for us, Pete. Excuse me, and that's 7 p.m. Eastern. Cleveland Cavaliers 49-30, 18-21 on the road at the Orlando Magic 34-44, 20-19 at home at Amway Center in Orlando, Florida. Cleveland 3-2 over their past 5, playing the pace 96.7 possessions a game. Orlando playing some pretty good ball, 4-1, playing the pace to 101.70 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history here for this Magic spot over here. and get it up. We have the Cavs opening up at -4.5 at some offshores as well. Here at Pinnacle yesterday, opened up at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. So opening up at 4.5, now at 5. So a half-point move towards the Cavaliers. From a total perspective, it opened up at 222 as a pick'em. There's been a 6-cent move towards the over, and the Orlando Magic playing at a 101.70 possession a game at home, over the past 5 games. So I can understand that. Let's take a look at the cash flow here and see what we are dealing with. Geez, sorry, so many games. Here we go. Oh, Jesus. God,
No,
sorry.
That's all right. Oh, good. Cheshire Cat saying Loshak looking like a dope ass 1974 NYC medical doctor. Man, can you imagine you, me, and Trot Wam hanging out in the 70s? Man, would we have had some fun. Man, would we have had some fun. All right, let's get back to Cat.
But even hanging out in 2023,
it's a close second. It's a close second.
Nice,
Hell yeah.
man.
Hell yeah.
Beautiful.
Magic. It's been a half-point move towards the Cavs, but 59% of tickets and 86% of the cash is on the Magic. Total-wise, 87% of tickets and 90% of the cash is on the over, and it's not moving. Very strange. Cavs snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 115-105 win at home over the Pacers on Sunday. Magic coming off their second straight win, 128-102 at home over the Pistons on Sunday. Take it away here. Oh, tell me you didn't just say that. Says took Magic +4.5 and +5. Says Cavs, in my opinion, don't have a ton of motivation for the remainder of the season. Maybe start easing up a bit for the playoffs. That makes sense to me. I'm a little surprised that it's moved a half point in Cleveland's direction. Pete, what do you think of this spot, Cavs Magic?
I was thinking, obviously the Magic have covered 9 in a row now, and Cleveland defensively. I was thinking maybe under, maybe first half under, something like that. I'd obviously be leaning Orlando, getting the points. That's what I'm thinking, maybe unders.
Let's hear what Wham Bam has to say. Wham, take it away, Cleveland, Orlando.
Yeah, both of these teams, they play again. We talked about one team just got finished playing. These two teams play again on Thursday, and obviously season's going down. The Cavs seem like they are already locked in on that 4th seed here, so it's kind of where the motivation is going to lie. I think that's kind of the reason why you're seeing this is tough spread with the line. It's not that much of a mismatch really between the two teams as well, and the Magic kind of aren't all the way mathematically out of the play-in, so they could still find a way somehow in the play-in, which I doubt that they'd be able to pull that off. But we all talked about, a lot of people are talking about in the chat, the Magic 9 straight covers. They've been killing. And they've been great even at the house as dogs as well, 17-10 for the season as a home dog. So they looking good right now to me. I feel the same way. I like to put my money here where the Magic lie, but I just don't believe that they're the better team here. And if you find a team that's trying to make a type of push toward the playoff, they try to do something in the regular season, or at least towards the end of the regular season, to show that they're really trying. They're pushing the envelope. They're trying different things and things of that nature. So I would kind of go lean the other way and just stick to a Evan Mobley prop, just because I think that he's one of those players on the Cavs that's continue to play really well, been able to do everything on the points, rebounds, and assist side and on the point side. So that's kind of the way I'm leaning here, is towards Evan Mobley, just because it's a wobbler. It's kind of scary on the side thing, because I think the Magic are the play. They've been covering. They're good at the house as a home dog. It's just that the Cavs, I can see them having some type of motivation. Just that's nothing that's seen on the record. There's nothing seen, in the readers block there that we're able to read on any articles or anything like that. I think that this is just some type of motivation that you find them trying to make a push to the playoffs and starting off in the regular season against a pretty good team in the Magic. So I think they play pretty well today, and then they could possibly cover. So I'm torn in between the two on the side. But if I'm going to bet anything here, it's going to be Evan Mobley. I think he plays really well today.
And Robert Freeney had a comment that I wanted to bring up. The Cavs, I know they're not mathematically locked into their seed, but basically they are, right?
Basically they are, yeah.
It's pretty much like hard for them to lose it, hard for them to get better.
Right. But you think they're going to come in here motivated anyway?
I think that's my point, is they're in that point that they're not getting respect, really. You know what I mean? And I don't think people look too much into the spread stuff like that, but they're not getting respect, period. And
Right.
them being able to beat games, like having being up for this type of game, it'll show a little bit more like they're really serious. They're trying to win games. You see Donovan Mitchell having a great game, and like I said, Evan Mobley, I think he's the X factor here, especially with Jared Allen kind of in and out the lineup. Maybe they play a little safe with him. They could be blowing these guys out because the Magic, again, they could just cancel Christmas on the whole thing. Like they don't care. It don't matter. Like, so it's a tough game because, the Magic are really out of the play-in, but they're not mathematically out of the play-in, and they have been covering. So the line being this short is kind of telling, though. You know what I mean? Like, they don't care about getting Cavaliers money. So another reason why I haven't bet the Cavs or bet against the Magic here. So Evan Mobley only is the only thing I would think of. And then I'm trying to look and see what the number is for the points, because I think the points is probably the best bet here for Evan Mobley. But I'm going to look into that a little bit more. But I think I might be on a pub show today. I'm not sure, but we'll talk about it a little bit later. I think I'm talking to Bano right now, but I might be on a pub show today, just to give a little support. It's a tough card today, and I think the play I like in this game is Evan Mobley's points.
What do you think of Magic first quarter plus 1.5? They're playing good basketball right now, and if we think that the Cleveland will, over the course of 48 minutes, show that they're the better squad. First 12 minutes, Cleveland coming off a comfortable win at home. Same with the Magic, but grit and grind, looking at Mobley, points, rebounds, and assists over 29.5. Robert Franklin says he's on the Mobley points over 17.5.
Shout out to that.
Yeah, and Rick J says Magic could be number 5 or drop to number 8 for ping pong balls, depending on their last 4 games. And Markel just saying fuck. So there's no situation there. I'm interested in the Magic plus 1.5 first quarter. I just think that they're playing good ball right now, and I don't see why that would change early in this game. And getting plus 1.5 is appealing to me. Pete, move on. Should we move on, or is there anything you
want to take the first half under or something like that? But all right, you know what, man? I don't know. Let me just think. All right, you know what? I'm going to take the Cavs first half team total under 58.5 minus 113. I'm going to take that. Pinnacle.
Pete is on the Cavs first half
team total under 58.5 minus 113.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm just not sure. Look at this. Look how cool. Green is for the money. Camouflage is for the struggle. Look at that. Look at that. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I look cool.
I love it.
White is for the purity. 7 p.m. Eastern, Milwaukee Bucks 56-22, 25-14 on the road to Washington Wizards 34-44, 18-20 at home at Capital One Arena, Washington, D.C. Justin McAfee said that Orlando first quarter is a real good look. Going to look at it after the show. I feel like I want to move on it here. Rico says don't be too quick to hop on that taint. Big differential on Guardian system reads. Wow. So he's looking at A's first 5 in full game. Well, we will discuss taint heavily here once we get to baseball. And let's not jump on it, but why don't we get a good look at Mia Khalifa? Seems to have a bit of a sweaty neck there, Pete. I'm not sure if you noticed that. Some perspiration right here on her neck.
That was real funky right there.
Hell yeah.
That was real funky. Capital
One Arena in Washington, D.C. Milwaukee 3-2 over the past 5, playing at a pace of 100.9 possessions a game. Washington 2-3. Saturday says that's someone's daughter.
That's true. There's 2 sides to every coin, every joke, every point. That is true.
There you go.
That's someone's daughter.
Someone's daughter.
Someone's daughter has a sweaty neck, a little bit of perspiration.
And someone's granddaughter, and someone's great-granddaughter.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
No, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, she's a whole family tree, probably. Bucks coming off their 3rd win in 4 games, 117-104 at home over the Sixers on Sunday. Wizards coming off their 2nd straight loss, 118-109 at the Knicks on Sunday. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one. We have the Bucks opening up at some offshores at -12. They opened up at Pinnacle yesterday at 4:30 at -11.5. They're now -13.5, but they got up to -14. We have gone back a half point. Totals wise, it's opened up at 231. It's dropped a point to 230. 230. Von Polo looking at Wizards first quarter money line. Rico money. No, we're a team. We know that, man. There's no we know that. We're a team, man, and it's all good, man. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing. That's part of the fun of capping. Let's take a look at the cash. Oh, we didn't look at the total dropped point. Okay, total dropped point. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this spot. 71% of the tickets on the Bucks, 60% of the cash. So there are some bigger bets coming in on the Wizards, but the market moving towards the Bucks very clearly. We don't have a percentage of money on the total. We just know that 71% of the tickets are on the over. And we also see that some offshores open this at 229.5, so some have gone up. Mike M says he disagrees with Mia Khalifa, but she and him still get along. So that's part of the beauty of what we do here. You don't always have to agree, and you can get along. Pistol Pete, Bucks, Wizards. What are your thoughts here?
Once again, I'm thinking that, like, if you take all of these, 14-point home dogs with horrible teams against legitimately way better teams, probably 55 or 58% of them are likely to cash. Washington been cashing last 5 games or so, right. and Milwaukee is obviously an awesome team, but they're off of a big win, and I would be leaning Washington.
A lean towards Washington. That is the one big dog you have moved on at this point is the Detroit Pistons. And by the way, Robert Freeney will be one of the 200 fans attending the Oakland A's game tonight. Says, give me Guardians all day and night. So we got a lot to talk about when it comes to baseball. But right now, Capital One Arena, Washington, D.C. I've been there one time in my life, Wham Bam, and Hito Turkoglu cashed the winner for the Raptors on the baseline. And that was before his whole ball rant that made us all despise him. I don't know if you remember that rant where it wasn't a rant. He just said ball. Hey, you're improving. You've been better the last few games. And he said ball. And he just stood there staring. What a dick. Take it away for us, Wham Bam. Bucks, Wizards.
Yeah, man. I kind of agree with Pete right there on this one too. I think where's the motivation here for the Bucks too? I mean, the Bucks do have a little bit of motivation. They're similar to what I was explaining with the Cavs. I think they already displayed that Giannis is going full throttle every chance he gets, and this team kind of follows suit in that regard. They're still in that same regard. They're still one of the worst 3-point defending teams. That's just going to continue to do that. I think that's just the play style. They're just going to continue to be bad at allowing opponents to shoot really well from 3 over the last 5 games. They're giving up 14 3-point makes a game, which is ranked 27th in the league, and at 41% from 3. First person I think about is Corey Kispert. There's no one available for the Wizards. No Kuzma, no Bradley Beal, no Kristaps Porzingis. You got Corey Kispert out there going over 3.5 3-point makes pretty much regularly. He's averaging 4.6 3-point makes at 48% from 3. Give me Corey Kispert, man, over 3.5 3-point makes. That's the first official bet for me in this game. It's just kind of writing on the wall. I kind of agree with you as well, Pete. I think the Wizards may be able to do that. I like that first quarter look. Somebody dropped in the chat too. They have been one of those sneaky teams that can kind of come out and win it early on. So I wouldn't be surprised here. But shout out to Andrew G. Kispert cream donuts. That's crazy, dog. That's wild. That's a wild ass statement there. Shout out to Kadesh as well, talking about Danny Avdia. He's been playing really well as well. He's been balling out. So, but I think Corey Kispert, we're gonna keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? Danny Avdia for probably later on, but I think Corey Kispert is the one we can hop on early on. So give me the over 3.5 3-point makes. Got it at -125. I think you get it right now -130. -130.
And Tommy didn't just say that. Says the Bucks can still get the number 1 seed. I trust him not to fuck around over the other double-digit favorites. Says Kispert threes is a good look. All right. Interesting. I get the Wizards first quarter look. On Friday, I could have had a huge day in NBA. We did a great job capping the card, but then I ended up with there were the two huge dogs, right? The Blazers and the Spurs. The Spurs were in Golden State. I cashed the Spurs first quarter easily, but I doubled up on the Blazers first quarter and first half, and they got destroyed. But I can understand the idea that Von Polo's on with the Wizards first quarter. We talk about the Bucks wanting this number one seed here. I mean, the Celtics aren't going to catch them, and they're gonna. So it's just the Celtics, right? I mean, it's like they've got the number one seed overall over the Nuggets. So, are they going to be intense here? Finally, William Hans is here from North Korea. Finally, Pyongyang in the house. I thought their internet was slow, but not the case. Quinnimus says feels like a Monday. I wonder if. Okay, I'm just gonna put that Von Polo's on the Wizards first quarter, so I can think about it. Money line is just Von Polo's giant balls, skimming toilet water. For me, I don't think I could do that. I would take the points, but I'm interested. So we have our first official play from Wham Bam 3000. It is Kispert over 3.5 threes at -130. There's
Danny Avdia just got ruled out. That's what they're saying in the chat. That's what they just announced here. Danny Avdia just got ruled out.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe we won't get that same number that I got. I see it available. Corey Kispert -130 on FanDuel before I start talking. So if y'all could get that, I definitely would. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. I have him listed out. Yeah, I just saw that now. So it's Johnny Davis at the 2 and Anthony Gill at the 4. Watch Anthony Gill slow down Giannis. All right, that takes a little bit of the appeal away of Von Polo's first quarter, but I will cheer him on. Let's move on to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We have 2 looks from our chat here. The BJ, our guy BJ in the chat, he's been getting the papier. He's been getting that cash. He is a unit for him is $500. He's a big boy better. He's got 3 units on the Minnesota Timberwolves in this spot. 3 units, a $1,500 bet. I don't remember him dropping. I've seen the 1K bombs, but now we got a 1.5K bomb, and he's been very successful. He's also on the Sixers for a unit, but we will get to that here in a bit. Timberwolves, Brooklyn Nets. So we have a best bet for BJ, and we also have the Bobby Bomb play of the day, and that's the Wolves first quarter -0.5. We're at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Wolves 39-40, 18-21 on the road. So obviously, with the story about the Timberwolves loss, it's the largest upset by a point spread since 1993, since the Mavericks beat the Supersonics, and the second biggest of all since we have the information from the database at ESPN since 1990. It was the Orlando Magic beating the Bulls as 21-point dogs in 92. That's the largest point spread. So I can understand the sentiment that the Timberwolves were embarrassed. They have lost 3 straight. And that's coming off their third straight win, 111-110 at home over the Jazz on Sunday, doing just enough to get the job done. This Nets squad, and great stuff for the trade deadline. It's pretty fun watching the Nets succeed here. They've got a group of players that are easy to cheer for, especially when Simmons is somewhere else. Let's take a look at the line history here for this spot. Sorry, I meant to have it up. And Adam here, let's grab it. So Brooklyn, Minnesota. We have this opening up with the Nets at -1.5. And it opened up at Pinnacle yesterday at +1, excuse me. But there were offshores that had this Brooklyn at -1.5. Not Pinnacle. They opened it at +1, and Brooklyn's now +2. Total wise, this opened up at 228. It's dropped 4 points to 224. When we get to the cash in this one, we have 74% of tickets, 72% of cash on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and we have 58% tickets and 87% cash on the under, and the books have taken notice of that. Please take it away for us. Pistol Pete, do you have any interest in this spot at Barclays Center?
Yeah, I thought that Minnesota was a pretty good bet, like everyone else was saying. When I looked at it on the overnight line, then I saw DC Capper saying I thought he was saying Brooklyn money line, but it looks now that he likes Minnesota money line. Got to be thinking first quarter and first half at least for Minnesota here. Now I want to hear you guys break it down, but that's what I was thinking along with everyone in the comment section. Except for Bo Jackson, who's on the Nets money line.
We got some great stuff coming from the comment section. Wham Bam, take it away. Wolves Nets.
Yeah, man. We talked about it a little bit with the Nets being about 2 games above the Heat, so the Heat has motivation, and the Nets have a little bit of motivation. Just scheduling situation, they just trying to get out of the play-in, stay out the play-in for the Nets, and get out the play-in for the Heat. So that is going to show there, and I believe that the Cat information. Someone said he's doubtful. I only had him questionable, so if Cat is out the game, it seems like it would be most likely that he's out because they put 2 situations on him with the calf tightness or some shit like that and illness. So it seemed like he's just trying to figure out a way to get out this game. You know what I mean? Not trying to play. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, if he is doubtful in this game. I do want to go back to the well with Mikal Bridges to go over the 2.5 3-point makes. I did hit the bad end of that, gave it out at the loser when he was hitting the whole time for me there. I think I got to go back to the well of giving that one as official here, but I haven't bet that yet, so it's the only reason why I didn't jump on that. But I think I'm right there with you though, Razor. I think come on, play for me. Hey, if Razor on it, we're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to make that official. I'm going back to the well with that too, bro. Shout out to Razor. He gave me the push, bro. I appreciate you, my brother. It's like that. Sometimes you gotta cap the capper, and I knew I fell into the trap last time, and this time I got to go right back to this there. And I do agree with you too, Tony. I think Cat is game time decision. He possibly could play. So it's trippy on the side there, but I'm going back to the well with my boy Razor. I'm about to lock that in right now. Take that, Mikal Bridges. I got minus 122 as well for Mikal Bridges to have 3 3-point makes today. I'll put that in.
Yeah, I get it. Over 2.5 threes for Brooklyn Bridges. There we go. Over 2.5 threes at minus 122. Razor sharp picks on that as well.
Bo Jackson's on the Nets money line, but he's talking about full game. I was only thinking Minnesota like first half or first quarter.
Yeah, it's, Joe Yurkovich has been talking about the importance of Naz Reid, for a while now, and look, this is a team where I don't have faith in their heart. I never have. Any other team that gets embarrassed like they did, I would say they're going to step up. They're going to step up, but not this squad. Not fucking Wuhan Gobert. I just don't try. Look, Ant's a gamer. We know that, but I just don't trust them, man. Yo-Yo says Brooklyn first came back from a road note. They play again tomorrow. I thought they won at home. Was I tripping out on that? I thought they beat the Jazz at home. Must have been a mistake by this.
All right, Jim, it might lose, but you can give me Timberwolves first half money line minus 116, current line at Pinnacle. Timberwolves first half money line minus 116.
This is their 4th straight game at home. So they're not coming back from a road trip or anything like that. I thought I might have made a mistake there. Okay, I will lock you in. So this is their final game at home, and then they play at Detroit tomorrow night. So hit me with that. Oh, sorry. Wham is on Bridges. And then let's get Pete. You are on. Say that again.
First half money line minus 116. T-Wolves.
T-Wolves. First half money line at minus 116. All right, we have a lot of action here. A lot of action.
J369 with a good point about the Nets defense. Yes, let's move on quickly though.
Yes, we will roll on. Let's go and fire. Next up for us, 8 p.m. Eastern, Boston Celtics at Philadelphia 76ers. So I guess the only thing, I guess we don't have much going on. Let me pull this up. Sorry. Start with the line history here in this spot. Boston 4-1 over their past 5, playing the pace 103.50 possessions a game. Their pace has quickened, and Philadelphia is slowing down again. 2-3 over the past 5, 93.20 possessions a game. And for those of you who don't know, our guy Razor Sharp Picks has $5K on the Sixers to win the championship for a $60,000 payout. I thought $10,000 payouts were pretty nice. 60?
I thought $45 payouts are pretty awesome, to be honest with you boys.
Can you say 60?
Yeah. A lot of fucking money, bro.
Celtics coming off their second straight win, 122-114 at home over Utah on Friday. This is the rest of the group. Sixers had their 2-game winning streak snapped, a 117-104 loss at Milwaukee on a Sunday. Let's go to the line history here for this one. We have Philadelphia opening up at -1, and they are now at -2, a 1-point move towards them. Totals wise, it's opened up at 226.5. It's gone up a half point to 227. Take a look at the cash flow for this spot. We have 39% of the tickets and 55% of the cash on the Sixers, and the market moving towards them. Then 31% of tickets and 78% cash on the under. So both the Sixers and the under are moving. Market's moving in their direction. Pistol Pete, what do you think of this spot? Take it away.
I was thinking, and everyone in the chat, calm down. Everyone in the chat, calm down, please. It's all about love here and information and fun and jokes. I was thinking Philly again here. Tough to bet against Boston, but they had a huge blowout win, then a tough flight in their next game, and they rallied together and they were like, "Let's get this one too," and they got it. And I was thinking Philly at least first quarter or first half, maybe under.
The only see going on in the chat is that Trance wants my mom's telephone number.
Yeah. So relax, chill with that. No, that's not bad. Yeah, just give it to him. Give it to him.
Of course I'm going to give it to him.
Yeah.
Wham bam. Celtics, Sixers.
Oh, yeah, man. We back up in this motherfucker, bro. We back talking about the refs again. Y'all know what it is. We back talking about the refs. And why not talk about the refs when my boy Eric Lewis is out there? And y'all know what happened last time when Eric Lewis was out there and they played, and it was the Celtics. He was the Celtics 6th man out there running around, not taking any calls, not seeing any calls, and avoiding calls. You know what I mean? Shout out to Eric Lewis. But we're not only talking about them. We're going to talk about the history in this game. Talk about the history of the 76ers and all the craziness that's surrounding both of these teams. Now, we'd have rumors with Jaylen Brown. Maybe he's leaving after this season. We have rumors with James Harden. Maybe he's leaving after this season. We have rumors about the MVP not really meaning anything, but it means a lot. It means only to one player, and he may not still get it because Giannis is going to get MVP, which is crazy. Sad to say, the Celtics are here to play against this 76ers team, and they actually have one of the biggest advantage in this game is their wing depth that they have with Brogdon, with Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum. Seems like they have been able to just beat these guys all throughout the year. Seems like they just have their number, and I think the only reason why is because those two guys are the counterpart of having a great guy like Embiid. And we do know Embiid problem is going up against Al Horford. We know it's a lot of things that we can just tie into this shit. But I'm just telling you guys, I know that we have an issue. And somebody says Brown is out. If Brown is out today, hey, I didn't see it. I didn't see the information. But if he's
just
out,
questionable at this point. I've got
okay. So I seen Jaylen Brown is questionable, but I wouldn't be surprised. I heard some weird stuff as well. It's a lot of stuff going on in this game. So I even heard Kendrick Perkins quotes come out saying that Jaylen Brown maybe want to leave after this season because he just felt disrespected about the KD stuff and all that stuff. And he came out and said all that things to the podcast and things of that nature. So there's a lot of things to wrap into this game, but let's just be said, like the 76ers aren't really good. We know when we think of this team, do we expect them to be in the Eastern Conference Finals? Have we even ever seen Joel Embiid in the Eastern Conference Finals? I don't expect them to be that good at all. So in this game, I think it does translate into what we've already been seeing with the Celtics. The reason why Eric Lewis is out there, I mean, he's been the Celtics guy the whole time. We got to look into the refs sometimes. And I'm just taking the Celtics, bro. This is one of the best bets for me. I just think that I talked to one of my supervisors. I talked to him the other day. He's a Celtics fan. Before the last game that they played each other, I told him, hey, man, they just have y'all number. They just have y'all number. If y'all go up against the Bucks, I give the Sixers a chance. I give them a chance with the Bucks because they can figure out to get a streaky three. But against the Celtics, even without Rob Williams, I think it's just all bad, bro. So give me the Celtics, man. I just know what Al Horford is going to bring. I know what Marcus Smart is going to bring. And again, Jason Tatum is going to bring. Even if Jaylen Brown is out, I should have got a better number. That's all I'm going to say. You know what I'm saying? I think the Celtics still win.
That was a hell of a breakdown there, Trot Wam.
It's a great breakdown. I just everything you read right now, like, even like on Roto World, they're like, why would Jaylen Brown miss this game? Celtics can lock up the number 2 seed. They're going to get that number 2 seed. If Jaylen Brown's back's hurting, why put any pressure on it? BJ says Celtics play tomorrow. I don't understand why there's any pressure on the Celtics to do anything here. And maybe you could say the exact same thing about the Sixers.
Yeah. And
that would be totally legitimate. I'm concerned here. Like if Jaylen Brown came up to me and said, my back's hurting right now, but I can play, I'd say, no, man, we need you right for the playoffs. That's my concern. And then if that's the case, Kong's Clip says rest Brown today and Tatum tomorrow. If that's the case, then the Celtics still might be the play, but then you could get them at a better number. I don't know. This is very, very tricky. What do you think from everything you've heard, Pistol?
I was thinking Philly, but yeah, I mean, you're right. I'm going to pass on this one. And shout out to Sharon Polian for saying kumbaya. Hell yeah to the chat. Kumbaya, okay? Kumbaya.
Oh, that's nice. But you should sing it.
What?
You can't just scream.
Kumbaya, my lord, stop fighting in the chat. Kumbaya, my lord.
They going crazy in the chat.
Here. Kumbaya, my lord. It's all about the jokes and the fun and the good times.
I try to do that, y'all. Sorry,
Kumbaya,
y'all.
my lord. Stop fighting in the chat, please. Thank you very much. This is a tough game. This is a fucking tough game, Jimmy the Bag.
It's a tough life we've chosen.
Yeah, this is a difficult life we've chosen for ourselves, my friends.
Hey, I'm going to let y'all know that the Celtics only lost 2 games when Eric Lewis refereed 38 games out of 38. Wow. Since January 28th. Come on, man.
All right.
Actually, I think it's 39 since the last game. So sorry, guys. 39.
But I will say this, Rico Money, I am on also that tennis play you posted. So I do agree with that.
We can get you a 2.5.
Arango. I'm already on that, Rico Money.
Wham is on the Celtics plus 2.5 at -1.
Let's do it.
All right. Rico Money says he'd fade his own mom if the spread was good enough, but would you hand out your phone number or her phone number like I am doing to our friend Trans Canada, desperately seeking my mom's telephone number? All right. Celtics plus 2.5 for Wham. Okay.
And not to cut you off, Jimmy, but Mark Williams is now ruled doubtful for today's slate. Mark Williams being the center for the Hornets. They just, 1, 2, 3 Cancun, man.
Yeah, no, they're donezo. I mean, even MJ wants out. 8 p.m. Eastern.
I'm sorry to cut you off, bro. How do you feel about Scotty Barnes, though? I forgot to ask you that. Like, how you feel about Scotty Barnes? You think they're going to run him a little bit more in the clutch scenarios?
Yeah, I think that, look, I understand that, Spicy P is going to take, the big shots and things of that nature. But, with OG Anunoby, we have some concerns over his health here down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's any issue with OG physically, then Scotty Barnes is the most important player on the Toronto Raptors. That's the way I see it.
All right. Well, we got like 8 more NBA games. So we got to figure out what we're going to do here in this show.
8 p.m. Eastern, Atlanta Hawks 39-39, 60-23 on the road at Chicago Bulls 38-40, 21-18 at home. United Center in Chicago, Illinois. Atlanta 3-2 over the past 5, playing the pace 100.41 possessions a game. Chicago 3-2, playing the pace 97.10 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history here for Hawks Bulls. This opened up with Atlanta plus 2.5. They're now plus 3.5. Total wise, this opened up at 233.5. It's now at 235. Take a look at the cash flow for Hawks Bulls. This is a Bulls team that's playing very good basketball. 50% of the tickets are on the Bulls and 89% of the cash. Then 32% of tickets are on the under and 90% of the cash. So a big amount of money on the under, and it's gone up 1.5. So that's confusing. But Bulls are taking money. Hawks coming off their second win in 3 games, 132-130 in overtime at home over the Mavericks on Sunday. Bulls coming off their second straight win, 128-107 at home over the Grizzlies on Sunday. Pistol Pete, what do you think here?
Great game. Really got nothing on it.
Wham Bam 3000. Hawks, Bulls, United Center, Chicago, Illinois.
I can only go Bulls here, man. They've been able to own this Hawks team over the last 8 meetings. They've been able to cover 7 out of those 8 meetings. So I think that they could hold it down again within this 9th one. I just think it's a good spot for him as well. And you have Trae Young being questionable. Shout out to Joe in the chat, Jurkovic in the chat, giving that information out as well. I think that the Hawks probably are one of those teams that they're kind of stuck in. I think there's one of those teams as well. I wrote down they want to win. They have to win. They have to win because this is the point of having to win 1 game or having to win 2 games. So they have to win. They are at a 500 mark right now, but I just don't see it in this game. It's, as much as they have to win, I think the Bulls have to win just as much. They want to win. They want to get into that one. Rather win 1 game than win 2 games in the play-in spot. And this is an important game, the most important game. So that's the reason why I didn't want to really mention the Trae Young being questionable, because I don't think that this is one of those games that they can pass up. You know what I mean? As much as you could have question marks for certain other guys because they're locked in their seating, this is a game that there's really important. So I expect Trae Young to be out there. So I don't expect him to be missing in this game. But that being said, I think the Bulls are still the spot here. The player that I really want to isolate here that I haven't played yet is Nikola Vucevic. We've been on his points, rebounds, and assists a lot. They've been running through him a lot throughout the last few months. Kind of scaled it out over the past few weeks, but it's starting to pick back up during the playoff spot here. So I think that he may be a good prop here for this game. But again, nothing official for me, but I don't expect this to be a backwood for me sooner or later. I think I am going to probably pull that Vucevic pick, but nothing official just of now.
I am going to be moving on the Bulls here. Another home spot for them. They just seem to be playing very good basketball, and I don't trust these Atlanta Hawks to win an important game on the road. From what I've been watching from them, I just don't trust them at all. And the Bulls have just run. Mike M says Bulls are getting the action right now. So we've seen a move from 2.5 to 3.5. Tom Miggins' levels play of the day is tied in, correlated with Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play today. We'll talk about both here shortly. Let me just copy and paste that here under the Spurs-Suns game. So possible Vooch prop for Wham Bam, and I'm going to be on the Bulls minus 3.5. Let's keep rolling. Next up, 8 p.m. Eastern, Denver Nuggets 52-26, 19-19 on the road at the Houston Rockets, 19-60, 13-27 at home at Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. And Mike M saw the overnight opened at 1.5, so that's a 2-point movement. I'm comfortable with. I mean, look, I prefer to have gotten in a nicer number, but I just think they take care of business here. I just think they take care of business. Tommy didn't just say that, so they open minus 1.5. He says, I think the line has moved too far. He'd look to Bulls money line and parlay it with something, in his opinion. I mean, is this going to be a really, really, really tight game? I know there's going to be like a playoff type atmosphere, but the Bulls are just winning right now. And
exactly.
Chicago, but I'll think on it a little more before we pull trigger. But Nuggets Rockets is next up. Toyota Center. Denver 3-2 over the past 5, playing the pace 98.2 possessions game. Houston 1-4, playing the pace 97.90 possessions a game. Let's take a look at the line history for Houston. Denver, pull this up. We have here we go. Denver opening up as 9.5-point favorites, now 8.5-point favorites. Totals wise, open up at 231, now at 230. And to the cash flow here in the Nuggets spot, 52% of the tickets and 60% of the cash on the Rockets. And market moving their direction. We don't know the cash on the total, but we know the 67% of tickets are on the under. What do you think here, Pistol Pete, Nuggets, Rockets?
Not sure. Big question is, will Houston fight? The line movement indicates to me that they probably will. I was thinking, maybe Houston.
What do you think here, Wham Bam?
Yeah, Houston normally would have been a good first half at the house team, but over the last five first halves at the house, they only covered one of those. So, I wanted to go Houston here with the early spot, but especially with Jokic questionable, Jamal Murray may be out there probable there, so he's going to be possibly playing. I think Jokic probably gets shut down for the season. Not for the season, but you know what I mean, for the regular season. Rev him up for the playoffs there. That way they could, be straight fast for the playoffs. Take this as serious as it gets. They already know he's not going to win the MVP, so it's over with for them too. So that no reason to be playing him against teams like this. The guy on the other side for the Rockets that I do like is Alperen Sengun. I think that he continues to play really well, go over his points, rebounds, and assists over at 27.5, if I'm not mistaken. Again, another play that I really want to play. I just haven't put in all my props in that I like besides the Corey Kispert play, but that's a play that I'm really liking there. And as far as the Nuggets, they kind of showed that they can play up, without the guy last game. So, I wouldn't be surprised if they play up again in this game. But I don't want any action in this game. It's just too much of a, meaningless game for both teams, in my opinion.
Yeah. You know what, Jim? I'll take it. You can put me on Rockets first half plus 5.5 minus 109, current line Pinnacle. That's the way I was leaning. If it loses, that's okay. But Rockets first half plus 5.5 minus 109.
I like that look. Why did you decide to go first half over first quarter?
Just no real reason. Just don't want to double up.
I have. I've got to reach out to LJ for this spot too. If you were going to back the Rockets in this spot, and I know we got to be tight, move on to.
It'd be in the first half.
Not first quarter.
Nah, it would be first half for sure because they've been already a good first half for the season, and this is a good spot for them to play up in the first half. And I kind of like guys on their team, Jabari, of course, and I like Jalen Green, but I think Sengun is probably the better guy just based off of the relationship with Jokic. I think he balls out a little bit in this game.
Razor says no more Monday night streams for me. I think I woke up this morning drunk still. Prepping was not an easy task today. Let's move on. Next up for us, and by the way, Joe Yurkovich liking the over in this spot. And I get that. I mean, there's just going to be no defensive intensity at all. I'm just going to get that here that Joe is on the over. I'll take another look at that over here. Okay, Portland Trailblazers, Memphis Grizzlies next up. FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. Portland 1-4 over their past 5, playing at a pace 100.8 possessions a game. Memphis 3-2, playing at a pace 103.50 possessions a game. The Memphis opening up at -17 and now -17.5. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 228. It's now 229. And then when we get over to the cash flow for this spot, we have here we go. 50% of the tickets and 88% of the cash is on Portland. And then we have 61% of tickets on the over and no cash flow yet on this. Blazers snapped their 5-game losing streak with the biggest upset of the year. We already discussed it. 107-105 at Minnesota on Sunday is 19.5-point dog. Shaden Sharp playing very well. 27 points. Kevin Knox added 19. Memphis comes in off their second loss in 3 games. 128-107 at Chicago on Sunday. Pistol Pete, Blazers, Grizzlies.
Yeah, nothing on it. Free play. I put it on the Blazers getting that many points, playing a bunch of young guys who care a little bit to show who they are.
I agree. Yeah. Even though, even who cares about the upset? They're especially Shaden. What do you think here, Wham? Take it away. Blazers, Grizzlies.
You said it, man. It's going to be Skylar Mays. Skylar Mays for the Portland Trailblazers getting the opportunity. Had 9 assists in the last game. Got 30 minutes last 2 games. Had 6 assists in the game prior that he get the first opportunity. I think he gets the double-double today. So he goes over the 5.5 assists, which is at +120. So I got Skylar Mays over 5.5 assists at +120. I think he gets a double-double tonight, though, but they're not offering that. So if you see that, probably hit that, sprinkle that a little bit. But Skylar Mays, I think he gets the double-double tonight.
Over 5.5 assists at what juice?
It's at +120. +120 on Bovada, I believe.
And Mike M with
+122. Sorry, actually, +122.
+122. Mike M with an angle. on the Memphis Grizzlies as well. Okay, I'm going to have to spend a little bit more time on that spot, but we got to move because we got a baseball card still a cap, man. Sacramento Kings next up for us, 8 p.m. East. Sacramento Kings 47-31, 24-14 on the road. New Orleans Pelicans 40-38, 25-13 at home. Smoothie King Center, New Orleans, Louisiana. Sacramento 3-2, playing the pace 100.7 possessions a game. Pelicans 4-1, playing the pace 97.60 possessions a game. A lot of deja vu from last year. The Pelicans getting right late in the year. And we know they're gamers, man. BI is a gamer. Let's take a look at the line history here in this spot. Pelicanos open up -2. They're now -4. 2-point move towards them. Total-wise, it's opened up at 237.5. It's now at 237. It's dropped a half point. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this one. We have it's just too many games up here. Cash flow for this one. We have 48% of tickets and 63% of the cash on New Orleans, and the market moving briskly towards them. Then 59% of tickets and 86% cash on the under, but it's only moved a half point. Sacramento comes in after having their modest 2-game winning streak snapped in an ugly 142-134 overtime loss at home to the Spurs on Sunday. Pelicans coming off their second straight win and 7th in 8 games, 122-114 at home over the Clippers on Saturday. Troy Torrance on the Pelicanos -3. Mike M says he's got an 18-3 under trend on the Pelicans Kings. Pistol Pete Loshak, what do you think of this spot? Kings, Pelicans.
That's nice. I have on my notes here and under maybe, but the and refers to gotta like New Orleans, just kind of no-brainer-ish. The Kings are pretty much locked into their playoff spot, whereas there's some New Orleans has something to play for. I know that Sacramento wants to not get lethargic towards the end of the year, so maybe they'll do well in the first half, first quarter, whatever. But got to be leaning Pelicans and under.
And by the way, you see that Wham Bam Maxwelly has Mays double-double at plus 1,400 on FanDuel.
Shout out to that. And I seen the I think you'd probably be best off taking the over have 10 assists there when I was looking at it right there. But neither here nor there. But let's talk about this game, man. They gave up a game, you know what I mean? Like they just coming off of a loss. As far as this Kings situation here, it's so many fucking games. So you said it, bro. It's so many games. If I talk about the right damn team, yes, they just came off a loss with San Antonio Spurs, and their coach talked about it, man. They're not at a target. You know what I mean? Not at a target. Now guys are starting to pick up for them. They got to get used to that. Some guys came in with the wrong mentality for this game, and it kind of showed that's kind of what happened in this. They kind of fell flat because of that. Only Malik Monk is questionable, so that's kind of like giving me the indication, like, why are they underdogs here? Obviously, you kind of alluded to it, Pete. They have really nothing to fight for outside other than just coming off of that loss, and having some type of pride because of that. Outside of that, they really don't have anything to fight for because they are kind of locked in at that 3 seed. Pretty much looking at maybe a Warriors-Lakers matchup, which I hope it's the Lakers, to be honest with you guys. I ain't gonna lie. But neither here nor there with that. I was talking about the Kings here, man. I think the Kings are going to be probably a little, not really motivated, but kind of enough motivated to beat this Pelican team. The Pelicans, they are, they've kind of built around Zion, bro. Like, as much as they've been playing really well lately, have they been playing against really good teams as of late? They played the Clippers. They beat the Denver Nuggets. They lost to the Golden State Warriors. They beat the Portland Trailblazers. They beat the Clippers again. I mean, the Hornets, San Antonio Spurs, the freaking Houston after Houston already beat them. It's just one of those things, man. I don't really buy in too much on that little streak that they've been going on. As much as everyone else is giving them credit for. So I think they can credit for that streak in this number. I got to go with the Kings here. I think you like the beam tonight. They kind of come out and win this game. And I got to go back to the well with Keegan Murray. I lost money with the threes props again, similar to how I went back to the well with the Mikal Bridges. I lost with that one. I think those was both good looks. I think Keegan Murray gets over the threes today. So nothing I made official yet, but we're going to be looking at that later on for sure.
Okay, Jim, you can put first half under 121.5 minus 110 at Pinnacle. Current line, first half under 121.5 minus 110.
First half under 121.5 minus 110. I don't see why the Kings. Who cares that they just lost to the Spurs. I mean, obviously it's embarrassing, but who cares? It just doesn't matter to them, and this matters so much to the Pelicans. Did you make the Kings official, Wham?
No, I'm not. I'm not on the Kings right now. I'm not on the Kings at all. But I'm just saying that's the way I would be looking. I think I don't buy into the Pelicans' little streak here, so that's all I'm saying.
It's fair to not buy into this to what they've done in this streak, but I just do not see the Kings caring. Why? Who cares? Let's just be healthy. We have the biggest games of our career coming up. So I like the Pelicans to play with intensity in this spot. I really do. I really do. Playing at home, playing with intensity, market moving in their direction for a reason. And I think the Pelicans cover this game here tonight. And I plan on moving on the Pelicans at -4. Let's move on to Wham Bam's Los Angeles Lakers, 40-38, 19-20 on the road at Utah Jazz, 36-42, 22-16 at home at Vivint Arena in Salt Lake City, Utah. Lakers 4-1 over the past 5, playing the pace of 99.1 possessions a game. Utah 1-4, playing the pace of 102.20 possessions a game. Let's get into the line history here for this one. Opened up with the Lakers -7. They're now -9. Totals wise, it's opened up at 235. It's now 237.5. Get into the cash flow here. 81% of tickets, 83% of cash on the Lakers. And then for the total, 82% of tickets are on the over, but just 63% of the cash. But it has moved 2.5 points in 7:35 this morning. Pistol Pete, any interest here in the Lake Show?
Not really, but I am seeing it off the board at Heritage, so I'm not sure what's going on here. But yeah, Lakers playing great. Utah, I think they're fighting, and I don't know. I guess I'd be leaning Utah and under, but it's off the board right now.
North End is Lakers -1100 to make the playoffs. Those of you who got us on the Lakers to make the playoffs at plus money, thank you. I made a blunder with the Nets not to make the playoffs, and I think I got plus 190 off to double check, but thank you. That was
game's off the board right now, Jim.
Game's off the board. Okay,
yeah,
so what?
Now, Lord Marketing is ruled out now. Marketing is ruled out.
And Sexton was questionable, but Kadesh saying Sexton is in, Marketing is out.
Right.
Lakers coming off their third straight win, 134-109 at the Rockets on Sunday. Jazz coming off their second straight loss, 111-110 at Brooklyn on Sunday. Wham Bam, Lakers, Jazz, what do you think?
Yeah, I haven't bet this game. I want to take the Lakers. I think that the Lakers, are going to continue to try to beat teams by double digits at this moment. They're going to try to continue to build that cohesion, similar to what I was explaining with the Cavs. I think they're one of those type of teams. I kind of think the Bucks is like that too. And we know what type of top tier teams you're getting that's playing matchup wise today. This is not one of them. This is the Jazz clearly showing us that they're trying to tank. Just like the Hornets are clearly showing us by pulling Mark Williams, them not having Lauri Markkanen out there is similar to that. I think they're just trying to see what they have in Sexton, trying to let him run with the keys, try to get his trade value up or some shit like that today. And that's pretty much it. I think THT probably plays another good game. He's been playing really well, but as much as I expect THT to play well, maybe he has a bad game today because I think it's just so much they know about him over here on the Lakers. Maybe they will be able to take away some of that stuff away from THT today. So I wouldn't be trusting any THT props tonight. Shout out to Maxwelly. He likes the Austin Reeves AR-15 to have 15 points. I like that look, bro. And the Lakers to win that plus 110. I like that look a lot. That sounds solid as fuck. But I haven't had anything bet on this game. Jordan Clarkson. I think he will play as well today. Both of those guys, and Sexton and Clarkson, were playing 3-on-3s a couple of days ago, so kind of looked like their progression was on the same type of tier. I expect him to play as well today, so maybe it's a good over game. Lakers went over pretty easily against the Utah Jazz. I think Kessler got ruled out for the season, so you won't see any more Kessler. Obviously, they know what they have with him, so they're not going to really care too much about the defense, I think, for the Jazz. So I like the over, to be honest with you. I think if the total doesn't change too much of that, I think we could get back at that over 237. That's probably the first bet that I'll make in this game. And then the second one will be the Lakers to win by double digits.
Are you going to make anything official here for record keeping?
As far as I haven't bet anything here officially, and it is off the board still. So we got to wait to see what the numbers look like. But again, like it'll be once I tweet out all my action and I'll lock in all my bets before I do so.
I have some interest in the first half over as well. I'm going to spend a little bit more time on that with Lakers Jazz. Let's move on. 2 games left. Next up, Oklahoma City Thunder 38-41, 15-24 on the road at Golden State Warriors, 41-38, 32-8 at home. Chase Center in San Francisco, California. OKC 2-3 over the past 5, playing a pace of 101.8 possessions a game. Warriors 3-2, playing pace 100.1 possessions a game. First off, line history-wise, Warriors opened up -7.5. They're now -8. Totals-wise, it's opened up at 243. It's dropped a half point to 242.5. It's a huge total. And 40% of tickets and 78% of cash is on the under of that total. That's moved a half point down. And then sidewise, 77% of tickets, 74% of cash on the Warriors. Moved a half point in that direction. Take it away here for us, Pistol Pete. Thunder coming off their 3rd loss in 4 games, 128-118 at home to the Suns on Sunday. Warriors coming up. Warriors had their 2-game winning streak snapped in a 112-110 loss at Denver on Sunday. What do you think here, Pete?
Definitely got nothing on this one, but if Trot Wam has a strong opinion, I want to hear what that is.
Wham bam, Thunder, Warriors.
Yeah, I like Lou Dort to go over his rebounds in this game. Over 5.5 rebounds for Lou Dort. Has been a consistent hitter. If you've been following any props over the last 9 games, he's hit 8 out of the last 9 games. His points, I think it's at -120 is what the official play that I got it at, but I think you're getting better than that right now, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check for that. I didn't have this one all the way up. Sorry, guys. I should.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, but I think you're getting better. I think you're getting better with Lou Dort right now. If I'm not mistaken, they have Lou Dort rebounds at -120 still. So you got the same number there that I got. -120. Again, hit 8 out of the last 9 games. I just think that he's going to be effective on the rebounding side. This is going to be a closer game than this 8. I think you got to get the Thunder some type of credit. You know, they still been battling. They don't. I don't think they're going to fall themselves out of the play-in spot. This is a tough game though. If they lose this game, you know, they are giving the Dallas Mavericks a lot of life. You know, when they don't need they don't need the life right now. You know what I mean? So. I kind of want to say that the OKC is going to come out here and play it tough and win this game, but the Warriors being off of those, they've been having some tough games as well. So, I mean, I kind of want them to come back to life. Mainly, I want this boy Jordan Poole to come back to life. Bro, like, let's talk about Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole, I want them to lose. I want the Golden State Warriors to lose, of course, because it's better for the Lakers. They could get into the 6th spot after today if they lose and we win, yada, yada. But them coming off that last few games, even with the San Antonio Spurs game, this Jordan Poole kid, man, he been a puddle, bro. He hasn't been as effective. He hasn't been one of those guys that's been locked in on the shooting side of things like he normally is. And then as far as that last game, Klay Thompson pretty much lost the game, having 2 good looks on the last game and not being able to pull off that 3. So I kind of expect him to have another good game. So that's another reason why I don't want to take the Thunder because I don't want to go up against bounce back spots for Jordan Poole. I can only imagine him having a good game today. And Klay Thompson, just based off of him kind of fucking up the last shot, you know what I mean, down the stretch last game, I expect him to have a good game as well today. So neither here nor there for any props for those 2 guys because I don't know who's going to go off besides them 2. I'm going to stay away from that. But Lou Dort, man, that's the official play for me. Over 5.5 rebounds, -120. Again, it's just been something that's been hidden. We ain't scared of this team and the Warriors as far as front court wise. So we're gonna go back over that.
Yeah, that the Lou prop makes sense to me. I also feel like we're gonna get. I feel like we're gonna get the Thunder's best game, and this is a big spread. I'm interested in the Thunder covering. You know,
me too, bro.
What do you think, Pete? Just lean wise, like I feel
no opinion.
I feel like the Thunder are going to play their best game here tonight. You know, this is the playoff starting right now. All right, let's move on to the final spot on the board here in NBA. We have Tone Miggins levels play of the day. KD threes over 1.5 -155. For 3.5 units. KD threes over 1.5. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today. Hold your nose. Phoenix -19. Spreadsheet play today. Hold your nose. Phoenix minus 19. San Antonio Spurs 20-58, 7-32 on the road at the Suns 43-35, 26-12 at home. We're at Footprint Center in Phoenix, Arizona. Let's take a look at the line history for this one. Our final game on the board. 38 games need to be capped, and we have to get through baseball still. Here we go. Pinnacle opening up minus 18. They're now minus 19 for the Suns. Totals-wise, it's opened up at 236.5. There's been a 3-cent move to the under. And cash-wise here, 34% of tickets, 73% of cash on the Suns. And then we have 37% tickets, but 85% of cash on the under. Doesn't seem to be concerning the market too much. Spurs playing at a fast pace, 103.44 possessions a game, while the Suns are just at 97.10. Spurs snapped their 6-game losing streak with a surprise 142-134 overtime win at Sacramento on Sunday. Suns coming off their 5th straight win, 128-118 at Oklahoma City on Sunday. Pistol Pete, any thoughts here?
No, I trust Ron Crawford, but no, pass.
And Wham Bam, final spot on the board, Spurs Suns.
Yeah, man, I got to use this.
Fuck this basketball game backwood.
Fuck this basketball game backwood, man. I appreciate everybody out there, man, in the chat. Shout out to Rico Money. He's asking a question here. He says, speak on who's going to win the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. I think it's going to be the Houston Rockets, bro. I think Houston Rockets having Sengun, all the other kids there, they may be a pretty good young team next year with Victor Wembanyama. That's all I'll say there. But other than that, man, it's always a pleasure to be here with you, my boy, Jimmy, Pete. And, yeah, man, we ain't fucking with that game.
We love you, Wham Bam. Let's review all action here. Loshak starts with the Pistons plus 13.5 at minus 110. I have some interest in that Pistons first half team total under 52.5. Then we have Wham thinking about Mobley props. I'm moving on the Magic first quarter plus 1.5. Pete's on the Cavs first half team total under 58.5. I'm very interested in that as well. Wham has Kispert over 3.5 threes at minus 130. Von Polo's on that Wizards first quarter. Loshak is on the Wolves first half money line minus 116. Wham is on Brooklyn Bridges over 2.5 threes at minus 122. Wham's on the Celtics plus 2.5 at minus 110. Which is probably going to get me off the Sixers. I'm moving on the Bulls. Wham is interested in Vooch props. Pete's on the Rockets first half plus 5.5. I'm interested in that. And Joe Jurkovic is on the over, and I'm interested in that. I'm looking at that a little more. We have Mays over 5.5 assists at plus 122 for Wham. That double-double is at plus 1,400. Pelicans minus 4. I'm going to be moving on. Pete's on the first half under 121.5 in Kings Pelicans. I'm looking at the first half over in Lakers Jazz. Wham is on Lou Dort over 5.5 rebounds, and I'm moving on the Thunder. Tone Miggins levels play of the day. KD threes over 1.5. And we have Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today on the Suns minus 19. Wham Bam, great work, my friend. Thank you for putting all this time and work and effort into this giant NBA card for us and the low baggers in the chat. Follow Wham Bam on Twitter at Trot Wam. And let's get that cash, man. You know that you're loved, my guy, and stay in touch. And look at Pete looking so good with his hoop banging.
I mean, look at this.
Shout out to Jimmy.
Hell yeah. The DJ Big Boss gave it to me, and I was like, I have a big ass head. It wasn't really fitting, and I put it on with the last one, and DJ Big Boss was like, you look good, and I didn't have a mirror. I trusted him. He was right, man. Look at this. I look good right now. Let's make a fucking movie. All of us.
Oh, let's win. Let's win.
Have some fun. Improvise the whole damn thing.
I love it.
Shout out to everybody.
Be well, Wham Bam, my man. All right, let's move on to MLB, Pete, and we must keep a brisk pace. We start at 4:10 p.m. Eastern. This would be a battle, a long one. 4:10 p.m. Eastern. Arizona Diamondbacks 2-3 to start out the year. 5 games on the road at the Padres. 3-2. They played 5 games at home. We're at Petco Park in San Diego, California. Didn't get all my stuff up here. Let's get the start with the weather here at Swish Analytics. And here we go. This is our first game on the board. Pops off at 4:10 p.m. Eastern. It is 59 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 11.6 miles per hour left to right, slightly out. And then it becomes straight across the diamond. And then it becomes slightly in by the last hour. So it is actually pretty legit out to right field at first. And then it changes. The direction changes here. Let's take a look at the line history in this spot and the cash flow, and then discuss the starting pitching matchup between Zach Gallen and Yu Darvish making his first start of the season. Line history wise, we have a Padres opening up minus 137. They've taken 10 cents of movement to minus 147. Totals wise, it's opened up at 7, minus 117 to the over. That's taken 3 cents of action. Let's move over to the cash flow for this one. Here we go. MLB. Let's roll. Padres have 76% of the tickets, but just 52% of the cash. There has been a 10-cent market move towards them. Total wise here, we have 54% of the tickets and 84% cash on the under, but there's been no move towards the under, 3-cent move towards the over. Matty Ice says Gallen's numbers not great versus San Diego. AOD on the Arizona team total under first 5. Mike M says San Diego 7-22 to the under and a 30-75 angle to the unders. Zach Gallen did not look good in his first start of the year at the Los Angeles Dodgers. He went 4 2/3, walked 3, struck out 7, allowed 6 hits right now after one start, 9.64 ERA, 1.93 whip. And Yu Darvish was very good last year, 16-8, 3.10 ERA, 0.95 whip, had 197 Ks and 194 2/3, just 37 walks to 197 Ks, beautiful K walk ratio. And this is his first start of the young season. Rick J moving on San Diego -1, San Diego team total over 3.5 and Gallen under 6.5 Ks. Pistol Pete Loshak, are you moving on game 1? And this is the first game that we've capped of the 2023 season together.
Yeah, you can. There's a lot of picks that I would make official. I'll just, I first 5, first 3, whatever. You can give me at Will Hill, San Diego first 3 innings money line -135. I love Gallen in general, but he struggled in spring, struggled in his first start. Darvish, has been pitching in the WBC, so he'll probably be okay. And I'll make that official. San Diego first 3 -135. Although I agree with what everyone else has said. Gallen strikeouts under, sure. San Diego first 5, sure. Arizona team total under, sure. Any of those I would vaguely agree with.
I missed it, Matty Ice. Thank you for mentioning it. This is Matty Ice's action here as well. He's on San Diego and the under 9.5 at +135. He's on San Diego and both teams to score 5 no at -110. San Diego first 5 -0.5 at +110. And we see our guy Pete going on the first 3 and not the first 5.
Yeah, first 5 is like -140. I mean, they're all highly correlated. I'll just make that one the official one.
Okay. And of course, all of this, we're starting a new season here, and everything will be tracked and put up as we discuss baseball throughout the season. Let's move on to the next spot on the board, 6:40 p.m. Eastern. I'm also going to pull up the batter versus pitchers. I'm a little behind on that, and I apologize, but that will be up here shortly. Next up for us, the Chicago Cubs at the Cincinnati Reds. Cubs started the year 1-3. This is their second game of the season on the road at the Reds, who are 3-1 and played all 4 games at Great America Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. Weather-wise, 74 Fahrenheit and 8.5 miles per hour, slightly in. Right to left, slightly in. By the final hour of the game, it is in. Not straight away in, but definitely in. We have Hayden Wesneski on the mound, the 25-year-old. I will discuss him here in a second, but let's go over to the line history with Wesneski versus Luis Cessa. We have wrong one. We have the Reds opening up at +114 and now +115. Total-wise, it's opened up at 9 -106 to the over. It's now -118 to the over. So we've had a 12-cent move towards the over. Let's talk quickly about Wesneski, the righty, drafted by the Tampa Bay Rays in the 33rd round of the 26th draft. Out of high school, went back in the draft, came out of Sam Houston State in 2019 and is a 6th-round draft pick. He came over from the Yankees organization. He looked great last year with the Cubs. 3-2, 2.18 ERA, 0.94 whip, 33 Ks and 33 innings with just 7 walks. I find it pretty difficult to believe that he can continue that. At Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, and Iowa combined, he went 6-9 last year with a 3.92 ERA, 1.16 whip, 106 Ks, 36 walks. I don't know why I'm sitting here saying I don't know if I expect him to continue that. He's shown no signs that he won't, Luis Cessa, on the other hand, 4-4, 4.57 ERA last year, 1.29 WHIP, just 59 Ks, 80 2/3, 59 Ks, 28 walks. Not a pitcher that I believe in either. I can understand why this total is going up. Let's take a look at the cash flow for it here. We don't have a percentage. Oh, sorry. Yes, we do. We have 63% of the tickets and 80% of the cash on Wisniewski and the Cubs. Then we have 52% of tickets, 46% cash on the over. So we have big bets coming in on the Cubs, and yet we don't have the market moving towards them. Pete, what do you think here? Take it away, Cubs, Reds.
Yeah, again, all my bets to start the Major League Baseball season are a little bit low, but the bet size is lower. But I'm a believer in Wisniewski in this spot, and I would like the Cubs first 5. I'll make that official. I'll shop around, but see what people have to say about this game.
BJ says, got to go to work, but just hammered Seattle Mariners a money line. We love you, BJ. Thank you for sharing that with us. Let me get that. Make sure I've got that here. So you're thinking to trust Wisniewski. We also have a Wisniewski truther here from Don Mack. He's on the Cubs first 5 -1/2. By the way,
all right, you can give me a -130 current line at Heritage. You can make that official. Cubs first half -130.
Pete is on the Cubs first half -130. And DX Filer, by the way, he's on the Diamondbacks first 5. Matty Ice says Cubs. Huh. Okay. Let's move on to the next spot on the board. The very interesting one here with the undefeated Minnesota Twins at the Marlins, who've got off to a poor start here at Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. Kenta Maeda on the bump for the Twinkies. 6-5, 4.66 ERA, 1.30 WHIP, 106 1/3, 113 Ks, 32 walks. Going up against Sandy Alcantara, last year's Cy Young winner. Looked okay on opening day. We cashed the over. 5 2/3, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 Ks, 4 walks, no homers in that 5-3 loss at home to the Mets. Scherzer, he was up against. Scherzer is pitching today as well. Let's take a look at the line history here for this Twinkies spot. We have, that's my bad. Here we go. Twinkies spot. We have Alcantara and the Marlins opening up at -141. They're now -139. So we have a 2-cent move towards the Twins. Totals wise, it's opened up at 7 juice to the under. It's now 7 juice to the over. And I get that. I don't trust Maeda very much. I can understand. Alcantara did not look, in mid-season form. We have 35% of the tickets and 51% of cash on the under, though. Bigger bets have come in on the under, and we have 43% of tickets and 52% of cash on the Marlins, but the market's not moving towards the Marlins. Pete, Maeda, Alcantara, Twins, Marlins.
Yeah, the jury I think is still out on Alcantara, and pass for me as of right now.
Yeah, I agree. And if there was bigger bets here on the over, I would be on it. Sky Dragon says, we're at the point where Alcantara feels overvalued in every start. I agree with that, especially him not being in midseason form. I was so confident on the over in that game. And I remember it was 1-0 after 4, and I was like, or 3.5 at least. And I was like, watch this. It's over, still going to hit. North Ender leaning to the Twins. Christopher Commentini says the over looks good. It just, I love that point. Those are like the points that Dennis Garcia makes are extremely important. Like, do we have a pitcher that's overvalued? Do we have a pitcher where we're getting exactly what we expect? At this point, Alcantara is overvalued, but at this point, I don't feel like anything is core. Like there's bigger bets here on the under, and so that just doesn't correlate perfectly for me. And there's some bigger bets on the Marlins, but the market's not moving towards the Marlins, so no action at this point here. Twins playing some good ball early. And Bo Jackson said he's got to prove to me that he's worth betting on Alcantara here. Okay, let's roll on to the next spot on the board, 7:05 p.m. Eastern. This is a nice pace. Now we're rolling, right, Pete? Philadelphia Phillies 0-4 this year. Puts a big smile on my face. I have their Look, let's not talk about under 87.5 wins. Who cares? There's 4 games in. At New York Yankees 3-1. All 4 games have been played at home. We're at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, baby. Let's go over to the weather. 66 Fahrenheit, 6.5 miles per hour, right to left and slightly in. And then it becomes pretty much just right to left. Then we'll go over to the cash flow on this spot here in the Yankees game. We have 29% of the tickets and 59% of the cash on the Phillies. 29 and 59. And line history-wise in this spot, Strom versus Herman, we have the Phillies opening up at plus 130, now they're plus 137. Totals-wise, it's opened up at 8.5, and it hasn't moved. Minus 116 to the over, juice to the over, has not moved. And then the bigger bets are coming in on the under, 34% of tickets and 78% of the cash. Strom pitched in 1 inning of that opening day loss at the Rangers. And Herman, had that injury-shortened season last year, 3.61 ERA, 1.16 whip. Excuse me, 58 Ks in 72 and a third with 19 walks. Mike M says everyone is betting the Phils and they're making it more attractive. Yankees second best MLB ROI team on Tuesdays. And Tom Migan says, why was he on the Twins and how many playoff appearances did he have the Twins past 3 years? Talking about Maeda, I believe. But here, let's stay focused on Phillies Yankees. Take it away for us, Pete. Any interest in getting involved in this one in the Bronx?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a big believer in either of these pitchers, so vaguely thinking about overs, but overs in Yankee Stadium at this time of year can be a little bit deceptive. But thinking about first 3, first 5, or run in the first inning, yes, overs on all of them. Not sure if I want to make any official though. Might probably have something by first pitch, but as of right now, I think I'm going to hold on.
Run in the first inning, yes, is a very interesting look. Yeah. I'm just going to write down that is a possibility for you. Yes, RFI. And question mark. Coin saying Yankees getting 71% of the tickets in line is not really moving. Feels like a Phillies spot. Don Max says Herman is capable of good starts. Ron Crawford says Yankees or nothing.
Actually, you know what? You can give me run in first inning at minus 115. I'll take it. Yes, that's at Will Hill. I'll take that one.
I think that's a very interesting way of handling this here.
Minus 115.
Mike M says Sharp Cash is pounding the Phils, and they moved it to plus 135 from plus 110. Preston Ekdahl moving on 4 spots today. I'm with you on the Thunder. That's exciting. I like that, Preston. And he's also got Phillies, Nationals, and Cardinals. And it was great to see you catch that first half under yesterday, Preston. That was great to see you, buddy. All right, let's move on here. Next up for us, 7:05 p.m. Eastern, Tampa Bay Rays, undefeated in this young season, at the Washington Nationals. We're at Washington Park here, Nationals Park in D.C. Let's take a look at the weather here. 78 Fahrenheit, 7.4 miles per hour out to left center, dies down to 5.5 miles per hour. Take a look at the line history here for this one. Here with Chad Kuhl going for the home squad Nationals. Rays open up minus 157. They're now minus 163, a 6-cent move towards them. Totals wise, it's opened up at 8.5 and is now at 9. Moves open at 8.5, now at 9. Let's take a look at the cash flow for this spot here. We have 62% of the tickets and 87% of the cash on the Rays. Markets moved 6 cents since Pinnacle opened it up. Something. Then we have 74% of tickets, 81% cash on the over, and it's gone from 8.5 to 9. Fleming looked awful last year. Awful. Surprisingly awful. 2-5, 6.43 ERA, 1.89 whip. Just never had it. It was sent down to the minors. There was a couple times where I even thought he was pitching better in the minors. I was like, okay, let's move on him here in the show, and he just got crushed again. Chad Kuhl was atrocious last year. 6-11, 5.72 ERA, 1.55 whip, 110 Ks to 58 walks, a very poor K to walk ratio. Poor K to walk ratio for both of these squads. What do you think here, Pete? Rays, Nats.
Two quick things. First of all, yes, I see everyone's getting along more in the chat now. Kumbaya, my lord. And Alfred44 says, can I get a birthday pick, guys? I almost forgot it was my birthday. Listen, you guys cap Alfred44. If I hadn't seen it and no one had called it to my attention, the answer would have been no. But since I just saw it, of course, Alfred44. Happy birthday, Alfred44. I hope you have a great year. You know, we need to keep a brisk pace, but we can always make time for birthday wishes. The pick will have to come at the end of the show, but happy birthday, Alfred44. Hope you have a great, awesome year this year and this month as well. Happy birthday month, Alfred44. Tampa Bay's awesome, but at this line, I haven't bet it yet. Probably will. Might have Washington first 3 or first 5. In general, love Tampa Bay. Think it will continue, but in this spot at this price, was thinking Washington early.
JW on Washington team total over 3.5. You're right, early only. You're right. Chad Cool at home. I think this is an interesting look. Would you rather take it to 3 innings then?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather take it to 1 out each team. You know, those bets where you're like, you want to make it shorter and shorter and shorter. You want the shitty team first 15 seconds plus 5 points over the awesome team. Yeah, no, I would probably take first 3, and maybe I will.
I'm very interested in that look, Washington first 3. I will study it a little more. Happy birthday, Alfred. Thank you for your support, man. It's you're a great guy, great friend of the show, and thank you for always being here and capping with us. And happy birthday, my man. Happy birthday. Enjoy it. We have
I don't want to do it, but I will. All right, you can make it first 3 money line plus 115 Nats. I'll take it. I'll make it the first 5 is plus 140. Yeah, see, there you go. All right, go on, Jim.
Okay, so you're still thinking?
Yeah.
All right, let's keep rolling. Remmo's birthday pick will be Canucks to score in the first period. Oh,
Correct.
That's his prediction. That's his prediction of yours.
Oh.
Okay, and we have our action in from our guy Hunter Engelhart. Cubs Reds first half under 4.5 plus 105. Cubs Reds first 3 innings under 2.5 minus 105. He's also on Gallon getting hit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Padres first half minus a half and raised to 4 runs for the Padres. I've copied and pasted that. Have you ever capped with Hunter on screen before? He's a great capper, one of our cappers, baseball cappers, and a great college baseball player as well. Let's move on. Next up for us, and I like your first 3 spot as well. Let's roll. Next up for us is Pittsburgh Pirates at Boston Red Sox. Both teams 2-2 to start the season. And Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play today is the Boston Red Sox -1 at plus 105. Oh, let me move over here. I got here. Beautiful. This is a perfect time for young Jose Bouquet to bless us with his sweet tea tits. Jose, your boys are in action. Ron Crawford is on them as well. First off, how are you doing on this marathon show? 38 games need to be capped. And what are you doing here in this matchup between Roansy Contreras and Slick Nick Pivetta?
Well, it's a great question. Jimmy, it's nice to see you as always. Well, the Red Sox have been an interesting team to watch in the last couple of days. Just mainly because their pitching staff, or at least their starting pitchers, yet again have just been shitting down their legs. But this year, the offense has been there to kind of support them. And I think obviously the pitching will get better, but it's been interesting to watch, to say the least. You know, they'll go down like 4-0 early, come back, et cetera, et cetera. They'll, comeback fell short yesterday because the Pirates have a competent, good closer. But I've been watching, I've not been watching because I've been obviously doing the Baseball World Classic stuff, but I've kept my eye on my guy, Nick Pivetta, because I like Nick Pivetta a lot. And I thought he was a great starter at one point. I like his mentality, all that good stuff, great curveball. But at the end of the day, he's just struggling. The command's not been there, got touched up all spring, worked on a new pitch. Basically, it was like a new a new curveball. So his old curveball was like an old loopy one. Now it's supposed to be harder, which I don't like, but whatever. Ultimately here, I would feel better about fading Pivetta against the AL East, which I'll be doing a lot this year, but I'm taking Pittsburgh Pirates team total over 4.5. I don't trust the Pirates to be able to win the ball game because the offense for the Red Sox has been so good, but I think they do get some runs. So team total over 4.5 at plus 110.
Jose's on the Pirates team total over 1.5. Oh, sorry, for 4.5 at plus 110 with Contreras versus Pavetta.
I probably should take first 5 team total over as well, but that's just a play for right now.
50 Fahrenheit, so it's cold in Boston. 8.6 miles per hour, right to left, slightly in. Does die down to 6.7 miles per hour. You have Dennis Garcia also on the Pirates money line. Let's take a look at the line history here for this spot. We have the Red Sox opening up at minus 146. They're now minus 144. Total wise, they open up at 9, minus 117 to the over. We've had a big move to the under. In fact, it's dropped down to 8.5 many times, and it keeps coming back to 9. So it drops to 8.5, comes back to 9. So a big move to the under. And then cash wise for this one, we have a lot of money on the under. 48% of tickets, 80% of the cash. And then we have 61% of tickets, 57% of cash on the Boston Red Sox. Pistol Pete, Jose Seje play of the day here for us is the Pirates team total over 4.5 at plus 110. Do you have action on this?
Tricky one. Initially, I was like, definitely didn't bet. It was leaning Pittsburgh, but if Ron Crawford's play of the day is Boston, I'm definitely not, just a lean, no bets. I'm going to pass. I pray that, actually, of course they get both cash. I hope that Boston wins it 8-5.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree. I would love for that to happen as well.
And we have something mentioned by our Dennis Garcia here, and I will pop it in the chat, and then I will leave it to you here.
Well, Dennis, it's an interesting thing, Dennis. It does, affect me that this is against my favorite ball club. I watch them every day, et cetera, but unfortunately, when it comes to Nick Pavetta, sometimes, Jimmy, you have to go into your closet, go dust it off, flap it out. Reset! Because it's Pirates season. It was almost a minus 302 as well today, so don't you fucking worry about that. But that'll come soon. But we pull out our flag and we raise it all day.
Oh, man, do those tits look nice when he's screaming. There you go. Jose, Pirates team total over 4.5 at plus 110. And excellent work from both Dennis Garcia and young sweet tea tits Bouquet. Don Max says that's the only reason why he's here. And Sky Dragon says we love Jose. Pirates team total over 4.5 for Jose Bouquet. And we roll on. Next up for us, 7:40 p.m. Eastern, New York Mets 3-2, all on the road thus far this year at the Brew Crew. 3-1, won their first game here at American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Maximus Scherzer going up against Wade Miley. Wade Miley has been a very tricky cap for me over the years, and he continues to be that. Scherzer, I'm pretty comfortable with. And I just don't believe in him that much as everyone else. I've switched on Scherzer personally, and I've made some money going up against him. And you don't need to bet against him. You can just take overs when he pitches. Mets open up at minus 150. They're now minus 145, a 5-cent move towards the Brew Crew at home. This total opened up at 8, juice to the under. It's now at 8, juice to the over. Let's take a look at the cash flow here in this one. We have 49% of the tickets and 90% of the cash on the under, and the market is moving towards the over. Then we have 72% of tickets, but just 65% of the cash on the Mets. So there are some bigger bets coming in on the Milwaukee Brewers, and this has all piqued my interest on these Milwaukee Brewers. Wade Miley last year, 2-2, 3.16 ERA, 1.22 whip, injury shortened year, 37 innings, 28 Ks, 14 walks. Have to imagine that he's not dealing with arm fatigue right now. And Maximus Scherzer on opening day, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 6 Ks, 2 walks, and a 5-3 win at the Marlins. Mike M says Max Scherzer is a 20-1 straight up. as a fave off of a loss if the line is shorter or equal the line of his previous start versus the opponent. Braves are 6-28 straight up after game one of the series as dogs of more than plus 125. Well, that makes me a little uncomfortable. I haven't bet it yet. Pistol Pete, take it away. Mets, Brewers.
Yeah, not sure what to make of this. Initial lean was Milwaukee at plus 146 and the plus 140s, and initial lean was to over at 8. Probably will have a bet on it by first pitch or May. As of right now, don't quite feel comfortable giving an official play, but if I were going to, it would be over.
Yes. Yes, and the Brewers was my initial feeling here, but the Mike M trends concern me. So I'm going to leave question marks beside the Brew Crew. DX Filer is on the Pirates money line, tempted to add the team total. Don Mack is on the Mets first 5 minus a half. North Ender says this young Brew Crew team is exciting.
Yeah, they got a lot of young guys there. That's exactly my Milwaukee seems to have some good youngsters. That's my note for this game. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
All right. Benny 101 says Mets to come back after that thrashing yesterday. Again, my ROI skyrocketed. Not skyrocketed. Improved very much when I stopped talking about what happened yesterday. As you know, it won't come up in my capping. I don't care what happened yesterday. Focused on today, and it's worked. 7:40 p.m. Eastern. Next up, the Toronto Blue Jays. Everybody losing their shit on social media about how bad this Blue Jays team is. There's so many people I just want to have nothing to do with. We're 4 games in. At the Kansas City Royals, also 1-3. Shout out to Jose Bouquet, who tripled up on the Royals yesterday. We're at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Let's see what we're dealing with line or weather-wise. First off, the wind is blowing out extremely hard here. 20.9 miles per hour out to left center. 20.9 miles per hour. Wow. Gets down to 18.2. Whoa. Pitcher's ballpark. And we got these 2 lefties on the mound. Kukuch and Bubich. Jays opened up minus 153. They're now minus 164. An 11-cent move towards them. This total opened up at 9.5. It's now at 10.5. It was just at 10. Now that 10.5 is juiced to the under. Take a look at the cash flow for this Jays spot. And we have, first off, 82% of tickets and 65% of cash on the Jays. The market moving towards them, even though the bigger bets have come in, some bigger bets on the Royals. Then you have 86% of tickets and 96% of cash on the over. Kikuchi was bad last year. 6-7, 5.19 ERA, 1.50 whip. 58 walks and 102 thirds. Bubich, that first round pick in 2018 out of Stanford, a pitcher who I think has a very high upside, was bad last year. Thank God some of the other young pitchers made us a lot of money because I lost money on Bubich. 3-13, 5.58 ERA, 1.70 whip, 129 innings, 110 Ks, 63 walks last year. Pistol Pete, this is a fascinating game. Jays, Royals.
Yeah, I'm not a huge believer in Bubich right now, even though he had a good spring. And Kikuchi, if you remember from years past, would have horrible results and then, make a tweak to his mechanics and then suddenly be, not quite lights out, but close to it. And of course, he had a very good spring. Mm-hmm. So I would, again, I would be looking at Toronto here if it weren't in the stratosphere, this line. And the over definitely does not make me feel comfortable. I don't want the over. If anything, I'd be leaning under the current line. And that's how I feel right now. So much uncertainty with both pitchers that I'm going to hold off as an official play.
That makes sense. My man DX Filer on the Royals at plus 150. No need to ask for forgiveness. This is just about making money. Mally Mal says if Cooch was great in the spring, you must back him.
Yeah, I mean at this line, I would take KC. Actually, it's just. It goes against my my initial capping, not counting games and lines and stuff.
I'm going to need some more time on this Kukuch spot. I would love to hear what Dennis. Oh, here we go. Dennis Garcia, KC first 5 team total under, KC full game team total under, Jays every which way. I believe in Kikuchi. That's what from our Dennis Garcia. Very, very interesting. Okay, I'm going to put that note there. So we have DG going up against DX, and JW is also on Toronto first half -1.5, leaning to the over. Troy Torrance says can't bet Cooch out the gate. Let's move on. Next up for us, 7:45 p.m. Atlanta Braves 3-1, all 4 games on the road. St. Louis Cardinals 2-2, all 4 games at home at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Take a look at the line history here. So St. Louis, 81 Fahrenheit, just like it is in obviously Kansas City. It's same deal here. 18.6 miles per hour out to left and goes down to 16.1 miles per hour warm. 81 Fahrenheit at first pitch. Take a look at the line history in this one, this Cards Braves spot. We have, here we go. Get this up here. We have the Cards opening up at -131. They're now -129. From a totals perspective, this opened up at 8.5, and the wind has fired it all the way up to 10. Let's go over to the cash flow here in this Cards Braves spot. We have 36% of the tickets and 68% of the cash on the Cardinals. Then we have 77% of tickets, 77% cash on the over. Steven Matz going up against Dodd. Is that confirmed that we have Matz?
Yeah.
Okay. Matz, we all know well, had an injury-shortened year last season, 5-3, 5.25 ERA, 1.25 whip, 54 Ks in 48 innings and just 10 walks. He gets hit hard. I'm happy he is no longer in a Toronto Blue Jays uniform. I know it's been 2 years now, but I don't miss him. Dodd is an interesting one here that needs to be discussed. 3rd-round pick in the 2021 draft out of Southeast Missouri State University. He went all the way last year. High A, Rome, Double A, Mississippi, Triple A, Gwinnett. In High A, he spent most of his year there. 3.44 ERA, 1.15 whip. Then he went up to Double A, Mississippi, 2-4 there with a 3.11 ERA and a 1.27 whip. Then he made 1 start in Triple A and 6 2/3, 7 strikeouts and 1 walk. He allowed 3 earned runs, and now he's here in the show. 3rd-round pick, the 24-year-old 3rd-round pick in 2021. Thank you. Take it away for us here, Pistol Pete, Loshak, Braves, Cardinals.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of, I'd be leaning Atlanta here just a little bit at the small line. Dodd is, I suspect, probably will be serviceable for a while, but I'm not too high on him as like a bet on kind of guy in the majors. Matz is kind of vulnerable as well. But again, I'd be leaning Atlanta and definitely leaning. My note on this one is probably more likely scoring early and then maybe bet a live under late after the starters are out. I would be, if there's good scoring early and then both starters or one starter comes out, I would be looking at a live bet on the under, but I wouldn't take it pregame and leaning Atlanta. But, sorry, we got to be careful about these picks. You know what I mean? Because if we're going to keep records of them, I got to be real careful. So I'm not going to make an official play here. Free play right now, I probably would throw it on Atlanta at a dog line.
And when you're looking at the over in this spot, would you be leaning towards first 5 or a first 3?
Yeah, something like that for both.
Yes.
First 5.
I find that interesting. Let's just get one last quick, but I know we're going to move on here right now, but let's just take one last look at the 77%. I think it's on the over, but I mean, it's almost so heavily wind related. I think that Matt's, God, okay. It's tricky, with this first start of the year. Matt's is a high character guy. I just don't think he's a very good pitcher. So yes, I guess I as well have interest in the Braves and that first 3 over. Kong's Clip says yes, run first inning.
Yeah, that's not bad either.
Run first inning. Kong Clip says he's on St. Louis if Newt Bar is back. All right, let's move on to the next spot on the board, and that is Orioles Rangers, Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. And it is 83 Fahrenheit, but 15.5 miles per hour out to left. What are our roof expectations in Texas If somebody could figure that out for us here, I'd be very interested in the roof expectations. We don't know. Do we know now? Maybe I should go to RotoWire and see who is expected to start. I did not know this morning, but they're going up against Andrew Heaney, 4-4, 3.10 ERA, 1.09 WHIP last year. He was spectacular last year and surprised a lot of us. 110 strikeouts in just 72 2/3, just 19 walks. We do not know at this point who's on the mound for the Orioles, but maybe I can find it out right now, right here. So let me move this over here and
it's going to be Gibson.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, well, why don't you touch on your thoughts here?
Well, I didn't because I didn't cap the game yet until I knew who the starter was. My initial thought would be Texas, but that's just my first thought.
The capper saying that Gibson in for the O's. Was Heaney's year last year? Is he capable of recreating it?
Heaney?
Yeah.
Yes, I do believe so. I mean, maybe not to that extent, but yes.
Very interesting here. Let's see what's going on with the line movement. Not all books have even opened this up for action, but Pinnacle opened this up yesterday. And so opened up at minus 137. That's exactly where it is right now. Minus 137. Totals wise, it's opened up at 8.5. Minus 110 to the over. That's exactly where it is as well. Sharon Pulliam is on the over. Mike M says Baltimore 8-0 over spot here. And just one last quick look at the cash flow for this spot here. We have 57% of tickets and 61% of cash on the dog. Then we have 68% of tickets and 98% of cash on the over. Again, this has not been available very long. Sharon on the over, Mal leaning to the over. That's a lot of money on that over. But as Mike M's trends state, it's a good over spot. Yeah. All right, we move on. 8:10 p.m. Eastern. Detroit Tigers 1-3, all 4 games on the road thus far this year against the Astros, who've started with just 2 wins out of their first 5 games here at Minute Maid Park. And we have Matt Manning, pitcher that we know quite a lot about. We talk about him often. We talk about these young pitchers for the Tigers often. 9th overall pick out of Sheldon High School in Sacramento in 2016. One of those, they have a plethora of first-round picks in the pitching staff of the Detroit Tigers. Going up against Framber Valdez, who lost 3-2 at home to the White Sox in this first start of the year. 5 innings, 6 hits, no earned runs, 4 Ks, and no walks. Let's take a look first at the line history here in this Astros spot. We have the Astros opening up at minus 265 and now minus 266. There's been no movement there. Total wise, this opened up at 7.5 and has moved to 8. We have moved to 8 here. Let's see if the cash correlates with that over. We have 67% of tickets, but just 51% of cash on the over. And then big bets have been made on the Detroit Tigers and Matt Manning here. 22% of tickets, 85% of the cash on the Detroit Tigers. Fascinating. What do you think here, Pete? Tigers, Astros.
I could talk about this game from a baseball handicapping perspective and how the markets have changed just in the past 3 years for a couple of hours. Some scary stuff is on the horizon, Jimmy the Bag. I'm not sure if my edges are ever going to be there again, but this might be. I think this might be one of the Detroit, might be the Baltimore Orioles of old, where the machine learning guys think they've got value on the huge dog, and they still don't. Although I could be wrong with that. I'm not touching it. It's a fascinating game. Free play. I'd put it on Houston -1, but I could be way wrong about that. No bet.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Nut Flush On says he's going to be really close with Royals info this year. I love the sounds of that. Nut Flush Allen. So we have just 3 games remaining on this card, and this is a tricky card, as it always is early in the year. Next up for us at 9:40 p.m. Eastern, the Los Angeles Angels 3-1 at the Seattle Mariners, 1-4 at T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. We have Jose Suarez, the lefty, 8-8 last year with 3.96 ERA, 1.25 WHIP, 103 Ks and 33 walks. Going up against Luis Castillo, who looked spectacular. He's a great pitcher. He went 6 innings, allowed 1 solitary hit with 6 Ks and no walks, and a 3-0 win at home versus the Tribe to get his season started. Let's take a look at the line history here for this spot. Suarez Castillo. We have Seattle opening up at minus 151. They're now minus 166, a 15-cent move towards Castillo. Total-wise, it's opened up at 7.5, minus 112 to the under. It's now 7.5, minus 114 to the under, so a 2-cent move in that direction. Cash-wise here, we have 57% of the tickets and 89% of the cash on the Mariners. Then we have 37% of tickets, 75% of cash on the under. Take it away, Pete. Do we move on the Mariners? First 5, minus a half with Castillo on the bump.
Yeah, I would lean to the under as well. And let's see what the line is. Yeah, see, I would love to take Seattle, but the line is just heading up and up and up and up, and I just don't think I can bet it right now or give it as a pick as at that line. Slight lean to the Angels' first 5 team total under if I can't take it at 1.5. Yeah, tough one. I'd love to give Seattle first 5 at minus 160 or so, but can't do it, Jimmy the Bag. Early in the baseball season, though. Castillo's great, though, for real.
And you wouldn't want to take it minus a half because you are concerned about what we've seen from the Mariners offense to start the year and that Suarez could possibly hold them down?
Yeah, I mean, I also have relatively low volatility cap for this game as well. So,
Yeah. Benny liking the Angels first 5. I don't want my love for Castillo to put me in an uncomfortable situation. Sharon looking at that first 5 under. A Wine Time Sports is on the under 7, also leaning towards Seattle. And you are leaning towards the under as well, Pete. Would that be a full game or a first 5 lean?
Yeah, first 5. No run in first inning is also somewhat interesting as well. But yeah.
I am interested in this one. I'm interested in the first 5 minus a half. Colin Dahlia confirmed for the Canucks. I will not be betting the Canucks. Thank you, Billy Friedrich. Again, I will not be betting the Canucks with that fucking sieve in net. Frank says, do you think the pitch count clock is contributing to these high runs being scored in these games? I need more time with it before I can give like a black and white answer to that. What do you think, Pete?
My guess, but I've looked into it, obviously. My guess would be no.
And Mike M says Vancouver in the 12-1 over spot. Now we're talking.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle, Vancouver over is very much in play. All right, we have 2 games left on this card. This is the 37th game that we are attempting to cap appropriately here on today's show. 9:40 p.m. Eastern, Cleveland Guardians 4-1, all 5 games on the road thus far. They look good. Oakland Athletics 1-3 at home this year at Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. Let's take a look at the weather in this spot here. In Oakland, 53 Fahrenheit, 11.9 miles per hour out to right field.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. I just meant to say that, in my opinion, my guess is that there are other factors that are contributing to it, not necessarily the pitch clock. That's just my guess, though, because I've looked at and I was expecting scoring to increase significantly. I talked about that with the picks from Dave in San Antonio, but not because of the pitch clock.
I hear you. Let's take a look at this line history here for Guardians. A's. Guardians A's, stay focused here. Game 37. We fought the good fight. Let's finish this one off. Guardians open up minus 200. They're now minus 181. We have been given the taint play of the day from our Matty Ice, and it is the first 5 minus a half on Shane Bieber, who looked excellent in that 3-0 loss at the Mariners on opening day against Luis Castillo. JP Sears on the other side, a pitcher I think is going to be good, a crafty lefty. Went 6-3 last year, 3.86 ERA, 1.29 whip, 70 innings, 51 Ks, 23 walks, and I think he will like pitching as we saw in the end of last year at the Coliseum. So we have a move towards the A's. Totals wise, it's opened up at 7 minus 112 to the under. It's now minus 107 to the under, so a 5-cent move to the over. And cash wise here in this spot, we have, pull this up. Here we go. We have 7% of the tickets on the A's, but 78% of the cash. That's some wild shit. Then we have 53% of the tickets and 85% of cash on the under, but the market's not moving towards the under. This is a wild, wild market here, Pete. Guardians Athletics.
Yeah, I mean, at this line, this was also the game that kicked off. That was the catalyst for some of the squabbling earlier in the show, which inspired a comment and me seeing Kumbaya. I understand people on both sides here. At the current line, I would definitely be looking at Oakland and thinking about a no run in the first inning as well. That's what I'm thinking.
No run first inning as well. And I'm going to study this under a little more when this show concludes.
And a first 3 under, I'd be thinking as well.
Yeah, keep it. Yeah, I get that. The market isn't guiding me towards a full game under, and I want to keep everything pretty clean here. Let's move on to the final game here on the board, 10:10 p.m. Eastern. Colorado Rockies 2-3. All 5 games played on the road. I am quite interested in the Coors Field fade this year, Pete, when they get back home. Dodgers 3-2. All 5 games played at Chavez Ravine in Dodger Stadium. Let's take a look at the weather in this spot. 57 Fahrenheit, 10.8 miles per hour, left to right, slightly out. It becomes a little more out by the final hour of this game when it dies down to 6.6 miles per hour. Let's take a look at the line history here for this one, the final game for us on today's show. And here we go. We have the Dodgers opening up minus 245 and now minus 249. From a totals perspective, opened up at 7.5 minus 103 to the over. It's now minus 109 to the over. A 6-cent move to the over. Again, we are using Pinnacle opening lines. And cash wise here, 25% of the tickets and 96% of the cash on the Colorado Rockies. So we've seen 3 big dogs taking enormous amounts of big bets. Totals wise, 46% of tickets on the over and 62% of cash on the over. 46 and 62. And yet, and there's been a 6-cent move at least on the over. We have German Marquez on the bump against Julio Urias. Marquez looked great in his first start of the year. 7-2 win at the Padres. He went 6 innings, had 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks, no walks. And Julio Urias looked good at home versus Arizona. I was the ass clown on the other side of that spot. He went 6 innings, allowed 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 Ks, and no walks. Neither pitcher threw a base on balls in their first start. Pistol Pete, our final game on the board, Rockies, Dodgers.
Yeah, I got nothing on this one. Maybe a first half under money line. If you give me a free play, definitely put on Colorado. No way I'm going to bet that. And I'm just sort of like reviewing the Oakland game still while we're here. Maybe going to throw on no run in the first inning, but that makes me very nervous. But maybe I will since I've only given 3 official plays.
Let's review action here, and nothing wrong with being cautious. With this opening of the season, it's crucial to succeed, and you don't want to fall behind the 8 ball. Matty Ice is on the Padres and under 9.5 at plus 135. He's on the Padres and both teams score 5 no at minus 110, and San Diego first 5 minus a half at plus 110. I am interested in the Padres first 3 innings. Pete, you are on that first 3 minus 135.
Yeah.
All right. Then BJ hammered Seattle money line. Pete's on the Cubs first 5 at minus 130. Twins Marlins, we stayed off. Pete is on yes run first inning in Phillies Yankees, and I like it. I like where you're at there. Pete, you were thinking about, don't forget Alfred's birthday as well. We gave a birthday pick for Alfred to close the show off. Pete was thinking about the Nats first 3 innings.
No. But you can add on Cleveland, Oakland, no run in the first inning, minus 141. You can add that one on. No run first inning, minus 141, current line of Pinnacle.
Minus 141 for Pete.
Cutting it close.
Okay, I like your look on Washington first three. I'm interested in it. Jose gave us the Pirates team total over 4.5 at plus 110. I'm interested in the Brewers. Very interested. Sky Dragons believing in Kikuchi in a big way and putting his money on the line against Bubich in Kauffman Stadium. The first three over in Dodd versus Gwinnett and the Braves. And believing in Dodd to pitch better than Steven Matz. I expect to move on both of those. I just need a little bit more time. The Orioles, Rangers, there's no move for us, but there was some talk about the over, but there's too much money on it at this point. But there's some talk about it. Tigers, Astros, Manning versus Valdez. We see big bets on the Tigers. The Angels, Mariners, I want in. I want in. First 5 minus a half on the Mariners and the first 5 under. Pete has no run first inning in Cleveland, Oakland. I'm looking at the first 3 under. And then Rockies, Dodgers, we stayed off. To review all action before we give out the birthday pick, because we got to put an end to this marathon show. Loshak is on Buffalo first period, plus 135, and the -1 at plus 280. And now I'm fading Devin Levi. After believing in him enormously against the Rangers, now I'm fading him. I'm going to be on the Panthers -1. Red Wings is a spot that I like very much. NHL spreadsheet play today is New Jersey. Loshak's on the Devils first period, the Devils -1. And I like the Devils. And I said earlier that this dichotomy between home and road splits is not going to continue. I didn't think. Now, they've still played well on the road. I expect them to have value at home, and I think they have value at home here. The over at 6.5 in Columbus, Toronto. I might push to 7 for plus money. Pete's on the first period, over 1.5 -174. Vegas, Nashville, we stayed off. Pete's on the under 6.5 in Philadelphia, St. Louis, Chicago, Calgary. We stayed off. Pete's on the Canucks team total over 3.5 at plus 112, and I will be on the over in this hockey game as soon as I can. I'm sure the market's moved heavily towards that. Then Pete's on the first period under 2 at -140 in Edmonton, LA. I want the first period under 1.5 and the full game under 6.5. There's a chance that I don't want $400 on the game. There's a chance that if you see me making both those bets, that I cut 50 off it, put 150 on each. If the first period doesn't cash, then the full game's screwed, obviously. And I don't think I want to be fully invested in this hockey game because I have the division on the line, and so that's just, for your info. Avs puck line, I'm going to move on. Pete's on the Avs team total over 3.5. In NBA, Pete's on the Pistons plus 13.5, and I'm looking at the Pistons first half team total under 52.5. Wham is interested in Mobley props, but hasn't moved on it yet. I'm going to move on Magic first quarter plus 1.5. Pete's on the Cavs first half team total under 58.5, and I find that a very appealing look. I'm going to look at it a little more. Wham's on Kispert over 3.5 threes at -130. Von Polo's on the Wizards first quarter. Loshak's on the Timberwolves first half -116. Wham's on Brooklyn Bridges over 2.5 threes at -122. Same with Razor. They're both on that spot. And the Bobby Boucher play of the day is the Wolves first quarter at -0.5. And BJ's putting 3 units on the Timberwolves. Wham's on the Celtics plus 2.5, which threw me for a loop as I kind of wanted the Sixers in this spot. I just don't see reason for Boston going all out. I'm going to be on the Bulls. Joe Yurkovich is on the over in the Nuggets-Rockets game. Pete's on the Rockets first half. I'm very interested in that. And Mays over 5.5 assists for Wham Bam at plus 122. I'm going to be on the Pelicans -4, but if it moves any more than that, I'm not. Pete's on the first half under 121.5. I'm interested in the first half over in the Lakers-Jazz game. Wham's on Dort over 5.5 boards. I'm going to be on the Thunder with Preston. And Tone Miggins' levels play of the day is KD 3s over 1.5, 3.5 unit spot there. And Ron Crawford, hold your nose, is on spreadsheet play day is on Phoenix -19 here. So Bo Jackson liking the Devils in this spot and also believing in Florida as well with me here going up against Devin Levi. Now it's time for the birthday play of the day. Pistol Pete Loshak for our friend Alfred.
Okay. Alfred, 44. Of course, this is all about, good vibes and having a good time and having some jokes and stuff like that. So, of course, I give out a birthday pick whenever anyone requests it. But these aren't lots, although I do try my absolute best to tap into whatever I can tap into to give out the closest thing to a lock that I possibly can. I'm not going to give out what was that? I just saw the thing come up. Was I muted?
No, that is me.
No, you're doing great, Pete. Keep it.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Even graphics going up when they're supposed to go up is not. Oh, what's that?
No, it's a lovely picture of you. Don't worry, we can still hear you.
I have so many cooler pictures of me, Jose Bouquet. My birthday pick request is we flip that picture for something else. All right, Alfred 44. Your birthday pick. Happy birthday. Hope you have a great year this year. I want to give you either Avs team total over or Vancouver team total over. Avs team total over is probably the better obvious way to go. Vancouver, that's I like it, but they could not show up. I'd love to give Pistons plus 13.5. What a ballsy birthday pick that would be. And I do think it's a decent play. Baseball, I don't really know. Man, I guess it's just a no-brainer play for the Avs, isn't it? The Avs are just going to come in and roll, isn't it? No. You know what? I think that Vancouver, they might lose. We'll see. But I think they'll get to 4. It's a plus money bet as well, like 110 or 105, whatever you can get. Alfred 44, I really hope this cashes. Birthday pick for you, Vancouver Canucks, team total over 3.5, plus 110 or plus 105 or whatever you can get in the market. I hope it cashes, but if it doesn't, hope you have a great birthday and year and birthday month. Anyway, Alfred 44, happy birthday to you.
You're muted over there.
Oh my gosh. You see, now look at that.
Sorry, the big guy just woke up from his nap, eating a couple pretzels. Wife has to go pick up Ella. So
real life someone has to, because 3-hour show, 3.5-hour show.
Pretzels are delicious. I'm going to get myself some pretzels after this show. He inspired me. They really are delicious, though. Low salt. Not no salt, but low salt.
No, you got to load that bitch up with salt. Clog my damn arteries. Clog my arteries with that sodium.
You guys, this was a really long marathon show. Thank you for sticking with us and supporting us. We have nothing without you guys. Christopher Commentini, Alfred, happy birthday, my man. Enjoy it. And thank you for being a big part of the fam here and always supporting us. Mally Mal, Bo Jackson, Rico, Rem Most, Billy Friedrich, I'm That Heat, Danny Lopez, Coin, Christopher Commentini, Matty Ice, Benny, One of One, North Ender, T-Mac, Sharon Pulliam, Jay Peasy, Hunter Engelhart says, I think Sears gets touched against Cleveland. I think there's a spot Bieber can give up 2 or 3. Wine Time Sports, Kong's Clips. I've got a lot of work to do still on this card. It's amazing how hard we worked and how much more still needs to be done. Don Mack, Bankroll Spence, Les Men, Frank White, all you guys, Mark Kell. I wish we could thank all of you. This was a really long show. And you guys stuck with us and made it very, very fun. Pete, sorry to put you through a 3-hour and 20-minute show. You did a spectacular job. And Nutflush Allen says, just a heads up to you, I started last night. I'll be looking for Oakland to go up in games. And if they do, it's a plus money spot. I will bet the original favorite live. Megan says. And that, my friends, is our show for today. Let's get that cash. And thank you for your support. And Jose, do you want to let's us into the future?
Sure, of course. Pete Abdul Rahim, it was nice seeing you as always. I appreciate you. And tell the boys at Elmex I said hello. I'm repping their shit all the time. So let them know that they've got some free sponsorships. Yeah. Carter, it's nice to see you as well. I hope your pretzels are good. Jimmy, good luck today. I believe in you. And everyone, let's get that pepper grinder going. Leche. A los bookmakers.